Okay, that one didn't go. Didn't do it yet. Why didn't it do it? Guess what? I don't have you.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey everybody, now that you're listening to Mike Trash TrashTalkingRadio.com, the best in the business. Say it so much.
Wrestling fans throughout Radio Land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock. Little guys like myself, so you gambling guys, come on. That's my favorite.
Talking radio show from 7 to whenever we get done. It's by using the screwdriver. Cut, roast, beef. This is Revolution, the other half of the rock and wrestling connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one together.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Arnold Kola. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. The trash never interested. Tuesday night, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Mike Tatum, the animal, one half of the world woman, take to the room where we can go. If you know what's good for you, listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Hulk Hogan. Hulk, what do you got to say about Trash Talking?
What do I got to say that I just bought Trash Talking Radio? You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It's Trash Talking Radio. It's Tuesday night. It's the best night of the week, and I'm floating over the whole scene. That's really nice of me. I think I made us too big. I gotta think about that. That's all we need is people say my ego's big. I mean, I don't need it to be that big though.
What, bigger than normal?
Bigger than normal. That's right. I'm larger than life. I think you are too. We're gonna both have to be shrunk. I have to lower my body down though, because I'm missing part of my body. You know how that is. Well, you might not. You might not know how it is. Let's see. How do I do this now? I gotta double click on this, and I make us smaller. There, it's a little smaller. That's better. Now I need to change my position over to here and down. Then I need to look at you, see where you're at. Yep, I gotta move you over now. Love this tech stuff. Oh, now what do I do? Darn it.
It's a work in progress, Mike. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, this show, if it ever stops being a work in progress, that means that the show's over. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, that's dummy. Dummy. This is the one I should be moving. There you go. I just moved you. Now, hey, all right. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. We got back from Wisconsin. We went up to visit my daughter, my youngest, Maggie, and we had a good time. We came back and we continued our little vacation, and Patty went home this morning.
Oh, went home to Pennsylvania?
Went home to Pennsylvania to take care of her 91-year-old mother.
That's, wow. You know that Oak Island that I watch?
Yeah.
All the guys that are part of Oak Island that are the originators are all in their 90s. So they're dying one by one, but it's really cool. Not that they're dying. It's really cool some of the things that you learn from that show. They keep finding things that are like, they find these amulets and stuff that they're made of like a glass, but it's not a modern glass. It's like a 14th century glass. It's kind of cool. The things they found in that show kind of amaze me that they are able to find that. And they're still trying to find the treasure. They're putting all these holes in the ground in hopes that they can find whatever it is that they're, well, I know whatever they're looking for because it's money. They're looking for treasure. So it's really fascinating to me how far they've come. And whew, that's a lot of work, and I'm thinking that's a lot of money they're spending on that thing. So it's crazy. Let's see, what was I doing up there? I got to change that. Got to tell the people that were, see if it showed up. Let's see, is that on my page yet? No, it's not. Why not? That should have been on my page. Okay, and then next. Oh, I see. Oh, that's why it did that. Okay. Now do this. Now it should be on all the pages. Hopefully. There we go. Now, how many people we got? Trish. I was just thinking about the ego joke, and you said it. Okay. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been just having fun. Well, fun. That's a relative term, I guess. This is kind of funny because I can't see you, and you can't see me. Well, you can see me, I guess. No, you can't see me. Oh, wow.
I can't see it all.
Now it's really different. So, but anyway, this weekend was the weekend that I did that commercial, and the commercial went really well. I drove all night. Well, I let the car drive most of the night because the car doesn't get tired. I left around midnight, and it's a 6-hour drive. I had to stop for electric, and by the time I got there, it wasn't 8. It was before 8. So, but I took my time. I didn't try speed, and I kept my. Believe it or not, I didn't speed. That's hard to believe. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's true. I didn't speed, and had to go all the way up to Rhode Island, and it was a really nice house. This house was beautiful. I would not want to live in a community, but if I were to live in a community, that's the house I would want. It's a really nice house. So, yeah, that was cool. And What else? They gave us food. They gave us, pastries in the morning, and they fed us in the afternoon. And it was a professional setup. It was really nice. They had this truck that had this guy has this, he bought this box truck, and he put in his own little shelving units and stuff, and put all the lighting in there, and that was kind of cool. He had it all set up and ready to go. And the first scene was me, which is, I'm the last part of the whole movies, or the whole ad. And they wanted originally me to do, okay, I'm the homeowner, and I'm the one that, originally I was supposed to be one of the band members, and I was supposed to do the lines as the band members, but they decided to make me the homeowner, which is okay. It actually was a speaking part, but they gave me 6 scripts before I got there. They were all basically the same thing, but the lines were different. And I was thinking, man, that's a lot of changes. And so all the way up, I'm trying to remember the new script. And when we got there, they changed it again. And I said to as I was getting dressed, she goes, "How was your ride?" And I said it was good. And she goes, "Are you ready for this?" I said, "Well, he changed the script on me." She goes, "Well, he does that all the time. That really drives me crazy." So I'm feeling better about that now. And then I go down to do my part, and the original people were Barry. What was the second guy? See, I always keep forgetting the guy with the S name. Stewart. Okay, Barry, Stewart, and Al. The original. So I remembered it as BSA, or TSA. Yeah, first one was Tom, Stewart, and Al. I remembered it by TSA. Remember TSA, then you got your 3 names in a row, and you know who they are. I got there, I got a script that became Barry, Stewart, and Al. So now I have to remember BSA. Okay, that's cool. I get there, and he introduces me to him, and he said, "This is Tom, this is Stewart, this is Al." I'm like, TSA again. And I really got messed up because I kept trying to do the script, but I had to remember their names as I was doing it. Anyway, so we went through that a couple times, and we only had the script was like a 30-second script, so we only had 15 to 20 seconds to do our part. And they determined that the script was too long, so they cut most of my lines. But I had the coolest lines. So in the end of the whole thing, I get to mention the punchline, and I get to do the, it turned out to be okay for me. But but I couldn't do it the way they wanted it because they didn't tell me what they wanted. So we ended up doing it like I was sitting in the chair with the 2 lines. This is no lie. 2 hours for 2 lines. But it wasn't just 2 lines because they kept changing the lines. We do it this way. He goes, "Try saying it this way. Okay, do this one. Wait, let's do these lines here. Let's do this line."
And this was the writer?
This was the director. And he also wrote the script. But he kept changing. He kept changing the script on me. And I was like, okay. And then he was behind a curtain, and he would yell out the new lines to me and have me. I had to say it right after him. Then he'd say, "Try it like this." And he kept changing the way I was supposed to say it. And oh man, it was a mess. But it was a good mess because as disorganized as it seemed, as it was, which it was, I think we're going to have a really good product. So it's going to be worth the pain and agony of him changing the lines every time I would do a line. He would try it this way, and then he would, and it was, "No, wait, do it this way." Then he would say, "Let's try it this way. Let's use these words." It was like, oh man, it was a mess, but it was a good mess because, in essence, it turned out better than I thought it was going to turn out. And I'll be getting a copy of the whole commercial, and he said he's going to give me my outtakes too, which is awesome because some of those were really good that we didn't get to use. So it was. I really had a good time, but it was a lot of work, a lot of work. So, but I like I liked the idea of what we were doing, and I liked how we ended up doing it, and it was just as much of a confusion as it was, it was definitely worth it. It was worth it. So I'm glad it's done, and it was kind of the most fun about was that we didn't do it exactly like he wanted. The fact that he didn't follow the script was an advantage overall. But I missed the fact that I had a lot of lines. I really was hoping to get the majority of the lines because of it being good for my reel. So when I wanted to show my reel off, I'd have something to show. But there's worse things in life, and overall, I have no complaints about it. So, I just think that it was definitely a riot. Some of the things I had to do and some of the things we did, and the house was just really fun. It was I had an ottoman in front of me, and one of the lines was one of the things that we ended up doing was we had the main guy in the band stand on the ottoman and deliver his lines like very big. He'd be like, I am the, are you in or are you out? And it just was funny with him standing on that. And you don't know he's standing on that till the very end. And when he does that line and says, are you in or are you out? At some point I say, hey, get off my ottoman. So he never got an answer. And then the one time I said, let me think about it. Okay, I'm in. We just did different versions of it. I don't know what he's going to take. I don't know which version he's going to take, but I think I did say one time I said, I called 911. And then one time I said, how'd you find me? One time I said, how do you know I have children? One time I said, everything it was just funny because a lot of the things had nothing to do with what the guy was preaching about. Are you in or are you out? Just sometimes it's like, why are you here? But so many takes. And then when the band did their parts, I had to be there for that too, because they were shooting over my shoulder for that part. So it was pretty cool. It was, and I got out of there at I think I got out of there at 3-ish. So that was cool because I was really tired by then because I hadn't slept for a while then. But it was really good. Then I come home and I got a job in New York. It was supposed to be an old man. I had done this. They wanted me to do this audition of an old man with a walker who was having problems, mobility problems. So I took it out on my front area where I have some a walkway and stuff, and my walkway is really rough anyway. And I was rolling it off the walkway and almost falling over and stuff. And I'm starting to think, I wonder, this is really hard to use these walkers on this kind of terrain. But anyway, I did that, and the director was so impressed with my audition. It looked authentic, and that's because it was, because I was having problems using it. But I got hired on the spot. And so I was all set to do that Saturday morning, and they said to me, we were just going back and forth, and she said to me, where are you coming from? And I told her, and then she says, she goes, well, that's, I don't want to make you go too far. And I said, well, I just did 6 hours one way to Rhode Island. I don't have a problem going 3 hours to New York when I went 6 hours to Rhode Island. Anyway, I lost the job. It's no big deal. It's okay. I'm okay with that because I wasn't making that much money anyway. I was doing it for the experience. So that turned out okay. But anyway, that was a trip. I don't think I have any more jobs, but I'm starting to get a nice resume. You figure in August I worked the patient thing where I was the caregiver. I worked the thing where I was the church thing where I was supposed to be a churchgoer and all that stuff, and then I worked the advertisement. So I had a pretty full day, a pretty full month. What are you doing back here? I don't trust you. So it was an interesting, it was a good month. It's funny because I see other guys that are saying, "Oh, I got auditions to do." Yeah, well, I mean, how many jobs did you have? They haven't gotten any yet. Well, that's pretty bad considering it's now August. Well, it's now September. Maybe it's time to think. Maybe you should get another gig or something, because obviously it's not working for you if you're 8 months into the year and you haven't gotten anything. So I don't know. I don't think he hustles very well. I think he just likes saying he's an actor. But I kind of like the fact that I get jobs here and there. So there's guys that work four times a year or 2 times a year. I did 7 or 8 this year. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. But I hustle, as you know. So how was your weekend anyway?
Well, got back in town and went out to the beach for a couple hours and went to a ball game and spent some time with, I went to see Reagan, the movie.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
Spent some time with the grandkids before Patty had to go home. So
that's
cool. It was a full weekend and it was a good weekend. I'm sorry she had to leave, but
yeah.
This is what happens. She's home for 7 to 10 days, and then she goes again.
Yeah, that's got to be hard.
That's my life.
Yeah, that's got to be hard. But you guys got a good relationship, and that's the best part.
Well, we knew we're doing the Lord's work, so the Lord has called us to this, and we know that.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier. It's just I'd rather be with her than not with her.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get that. I kind of the time that Christine isn't here drives me crazy because I get used to her being around, and then the time I'm not here, she probably has a lot of fun because I'm not here. She probably says, "When you going away next?" So, but anyway, it's just funny that. That's what our lives are now. We do what we got to do and how we got to do it. But yeah, it's fun. All right, I guess I got to see what we do have here. Anyway, tell me about Reagan.
Well, I have to say I liked it.
Okay.
But I also lived through it.
Yes. It's about the president? About the president or what?
And he was very instrumental in pulling me away from being a radical Democrat.
Oh.
To being a centrist. He pulled me away. And so I owe him a lot. Now, one of the problems in the film is it was a very rosy and upbeat and flattering version of events.
Okay.
They glossed over Iran-Contra, which was his big political failing.
Yeah, I remember that.
They barely mentioned his silence on AIDS. During the AIDS epidemic, he virtually said nothing. And until the very end of his presidency. So he had a couple of big failures, which they glossed over.
Right.
His relationships with people were not fully developed.
Okay.
But it's hard to put a man's life into 2 hours and 21 minutes.
True.
And they had to tell his whole life story. So, I think the fact that he brought down the Soviet Union, and it really was him that did it.
Yeah.
That was very well portrayed. If you're not into history, don't see this movie.
Okay.
It's not thrilling. It's only thrilling if you live through it or you care about history.
Okay.
And but know going in that it was done by conservative actors. John Voight was in it. He's very conservative. Kevin Sorbo was in it. He was very conservative.
Right.
And Quaid is very conservative.
Oh, Quaid's in it. That's cool.
So he did a very good Reagan. He
Is it-
caught the mannerisms, and he caught. I mean, he had me fooled there a couple
Was it
times.
Dennis Quaid or was it
But
the other
I
one?
had to look twice. Was it a clip of Reagan or was it Quaid? I had to catch myself once or twice. He did a very good impersonation. He did it well. Voight was really the star there because he had an excellent Russian accent,
Okay.
and really was the storyteller. He
Okay.
told the story to a young KGB agent who wanted to know about the fall of the Soviet Union, what really happened.
Okay.
And Voight was the retired KGB specialist on Reagan.
Okay.
And so he told the story.
Interesting.
And that part went very well. Voight was excellent.
Yeah.
So, it's a mixed bag like everything else. My wife, who didn't remember, was very impressed because they talked about Reagan's childhood faith and the faith that carried him through the White House, which, being a believer, meant a lot to me.
Okay.
And he just had some great lines. Like I said, I stole this line from him. I say all the time, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me. Well, that originated with Ronald Reagan.
Do you remember?
So, because he was born and raised a Democrat.
Okay.
And,
I was obviously I was in that era too, where we brought an actor into the White House. It's like that's unheard of, and I was thinking, how's this going to work out? And he scared me a little bit going into the White House, but I think overall, I had my fears were unwarranted because he seemed to really try to do the best job, and so we can't not like him for that because he truly did do a good job for what he was left with. So I got to say that I'm not upset about what he did, but he set the table high though. I think there's a lot of people that go back to his term and they reference his term when they're trying to make a point of some sort. So
well, Reagan's now the grandfather of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And he is the classic conservative.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. So he meant a lot to me. So I really enjoyed the flip, but I saw its deficiencies.
Okay. Well, I might have to watch that. Did you go to the theater or
Theater.
Did you? Okay.
Theater.
I haven't been.
It only grossed $10 million so far.
I don't think that it's going to appeal to a lot of the younger people.
No, it's not.
I think
that's too old for them. That's ancient history.
Yeah. It's.
And the theater was filled mostly with retireds, from what I could tell.
Okay. Well, that makes a little sense. Let's see here.
And they probably all going to vote for
Oh,
Trump.
this is what.
It's a very select group that went to see it.
This must be what this is. Okay. Hold on. I want to open this article. I can't remember what it was. I did the show prep last minute because I had done so much this weekend. Is this it? No, it isn't. Oh, this is different. I was thinking this was going to be what you were just talking about. Yeah, it is. Well, hold on. Nope, that isn't it. This is John Voight on something else. I saw John Voight's name and I thought, what is that? It says, in 2013, Warner Brothers released Courtney Solomon's Gateway in theaters. The action chase film starred Ethan Hawke, Selena Gomez, and John Voight. So I saw him on there. I thought, oh, here's Voight. That's not what it is, though. It's a different thing. So, birthdays. How here we go again. I get you on these birthdays because you aren't prepared for them. Cameron Diaz.
50.
You're really close. You're within the 5 points. You're at 52.
52.
Yeah, you're okay. Do you know who Lewis Black is? He's a comedian.
No.
Okay, we'll skip him. Nope, I don't know who that is. Okay, Eric Peterson. We don't have a lot of these. I don't even know. I know you're not gonna know them because I don't know them. Okay, that may be the only one. Okay, let's see. They gave me a list of them, but I don't know any of these guys, so yeah, I'm going to skip them. Okay, next topic is the one you and I were going to talk about. We both decided we wanted to talk about this weekend, or this week. Brazil.
Brazil.
Go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, the Eagles are playing the Green Bay Packers in Brazil on Friday night. This is not what you thought.
No, it's not. I was going to say, I bet you that had something, I bet you Elon had something to do with that.
Sure he did. He has something to do with just about everything.
Yeah, I'll talk. I got some things to talk about with him, too.
X is now foreboding in Brazil.
That is so weird to me.
You cannot access it in Brazil.
Yeah. That's just, to me, I'm, and he's being fined according to this article here. I'm trying to figure out how to get to this article.
He had to close his offices and get his people out.
Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. It says X blocked in Brazil after Supreme Court panel upholds a suspension order. A panel of Brazil federal Supreme Court justices voted unanimously to uphold orders suspending the use of Elon Musk's social network X nationwide. See, I want to know how they can do that, how they can actually physically stop it from coming into the country. How do they?
The providers like let's just say Verizon,
okay,
has to stop carrying it. That's a blockage channel.
And the reason they're doing that is what?
Okay. Simplest terms, Brazil doesn't like the opposition spreading misinformation, according to the authorities.
Okay.
They're doing what Biden did during COVID.
Okay.
They want their providers to silence some people that are in opposition to the government. And they're labeling it as misinformation. That's exactly what Biden did during COVID. And Zuckerberg has admitted it now.
Okay.
With a letter to Congress that that's exactly what Biden was doing.
Wow.
And Brazil's doing it too. And see, free speech is not that important to the rest of the world. Free speech is really only important to America.
Okay. Yeah.
Free speech isn't that big everywhere. And Brazil definitely is not into free speech.
Yeah.
So they want to silence their critics. And so Musk refused to do it because he's real big into free speech. And he refused to do it. And so they took this action against him.
Now, can they can't actually enforce a fine on him?
No, there's no way he would pay. Because he closed all his offices, so they can't access anything. All his people are out of the country and his offices are closed.
So that's basically what we would do to TikTok if they ever finally decide to stop us from having TikTok.
Right.
Just block.
It would be the same thing. All the carriers would have to stop carrying it.
Wow. That's crazy. I guess
and the fines would go to the carriers.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Wow. That's nuts. That's crazy. Well, I mean, it's their country. They can do what they want, I guess. It says here, 4 of the judges also voted to uphold the daily $8.9 thousand fine for people using virtual private networks to access X. Since the ban
That's more than the average income for someone living in Brazil.
At least
so they would have to pay, if you make $65,000 a year in America, you would have to pay around $65,000 fine.
Wow. It says here, since the ban, at least 500,000 Brazilians have joined the rival platform Blue Sky.
Yes.
That's
Now, Blue Sky has, I believe, they have abided by the rule
okay.
and have taken down those comments.
Wow. It says Musk and his companies have said they view the court orders as illegal and issued without due process. Musk has repeatedly called to impeach the court's top justice, Alexander de Morales, and called him a criminal. So, yeah, that's whew. I don't know. That's that's intense. Oh man, but hey, Elon does what Elon does. So Elon just best not go there for vacation.
No, if I was him, I'd stay away from Brazil.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad he's not an Eagles fan because he probably would have gone.
Oh, Eagles in Brazil now?
Well, they're playing the Green Bay Packers in the first game of the season in Brazil. The
Wow.
NFL is trying to broaden its economic reach.
Jeez.
And so they go to London, they go to Germany, they go to Mexico, and now they're in Brazil.
I could understand London. I don't know if I'd understand Brazil.
Well, I don't get it because there's stops and starts to football, and they enjoy soccer with no stops and starts,
Right.
or very few stops and starts.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if Brazilians are going to like NFL football.
Yeah. That could be. When is that now? When is it?
It's this Friday.
This Friday. Okay, so that'll be it.
The I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so
Yeah.
they have landed in Brazil. They will land Wednesday in
Wow.
Brazil tomorrow
Jeez. Well,
for
I
the
mean,
Friday night game.
I guess that's something anyway. On the same path of Elon, I have other Elon news.
Okay.
It's actually, to me, it's interesting news. First off, he's talking about buying NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is the largest chip manufacturer in the world. Now, he's been using, in the latest version of my car, he uses AMD chips. But if he buys NVIDIA, that opens a whole different world to him because they're the #1 manufacturer of chips now. Back when, it's funny because when I started working in technology, which was a long time ago, NVIDIA didn't even exist. And the only players were Intel and AMD. They were the only players of the chip market. And I mean, there were some guys, but there were, but you never had an AMD, or you never had an NVIDIA and all those guys. And NVIDIA started making video cards, video chips for video cards. And first they started, because they didn't have a lot of people buying their video chips, they made their own cards then. And they were big. I have an NVIDIA card upstairs. And they made some really good video cards, and they got better and better and better. And they kept getting better until they kicked everybody off the top of the heap. And they became the #1 chip manufacturer and the #1 video card. And so they got the best chips for videos. Elon Musk is interested in buying their technology, not because of the chip market, because of AI. And he wants to own that AI space. And he was involved in the original AI. And
Right.
he feels that he was screwed over that AI. And so he wants to, he gets his own revenge his own way. He just lets usually let them fight it out, and then he comes in and picks up the scraps. But in this case, he wants to take that because the AI, he wants to incorporate the AI into all of his products, like for instance cars. take the AI and be able to do better things with the way that they interact with the self-driving and stuff like that. It's a brilliant move. I mean, it's an expensive move. He's going to pay a couple $2 billion for that, but he's going to have a technology that that's going to put him further ahead. One thing about Elon, when he puts his mind to something, there's nothing stopping him. And if he owns that too, he can use that for his SpaceX. He can use it for everything, all of his products. So it is a smart move, but it's an expensive move. But every time he makes one of these expensive moves, I'm cringing because I'm thinking, what if it doesn't work? But to him, a couple $2 billion doesn't matter. He's got so much money, it doesn't really matter. But he keeps making it work. Like Twitter, people laughed because he bought Twitter for too much money. Well, now he's turned it into a money-making machine, but he lost Trash Talking Radio because we can't broadcast unless we want to pay a fee, and I'm not paying him.
His pay rate, yeah. I'm sure he loses sleep over the fact that he lost Trash Talking Radio.
Well,
you should be expecting a letter soon of an apology.
No, I think he's driving here. But the other news about him that's been circulating, but it hasn't been confirmed by Elon as such. Elon likes to drop hints. He doesn't tell you, but people have figured it out. And this is really exciting to me because my lease is up next year. So I hope it comes true by next year. He's going to be making a van.
Really?
And to me, they're talking about 600 miles to the charge. They're talking about putting solar panels on the roof. They're talking about making it, how did he called it, modular. So he's talking about being able to put seats in it or taking the seats out and putting shelves in it, putting couches in it, doing all the different things. He wants to make it into a van or a camper or a work truck or whatever you want it to be. That excites me. Now we're talking about if I have to go to, let's say I have to go to New York for a couple days shoot, I can actually live in my van because it'll be made as a camper. That, to me, is exciting. And I'll still have the power that I'm used to, still have the batteries. If the batteries are 600 miles, he's talking about using, I think we talked about the batteries. We might not have. I wanted to talk about it. If I didn't talk about it, I'll talk about it now. The new batteries are the 4680s. Those are the ones that are going to get about 30% more range. But there's another battery that he's just made a deal on, and that's an SSD battery. You know what an SSD is, right?
No.
Do you know what a hard drive is?
Yeah, I know what an SSD is.
Okay, do you know what an SSD is? Okay, an SSD is a hard drive without any moving parts. Well, they made an I don't know if it's SD or an SSD battery. And that battery charges so much faster, and it's so much lighter, and it brings the car weight down from, say, 3,000 to a regular, less than a regular car, because it's so light, and it gets you mileage that you that they need, and it charges faster. So with this thing, that would be really exciting if this van, which I'm thinking he's planning on using those new battery technology on this new van to get the mileage he's talking about getting. Now that to me, and he's talking about making this van between $40,000 and $80,000, which is really a good price. I mean, if you can pick up this van at say 50 or 60,000, fully load it with stuff, that would really change the game a lot. That would get me out of my Model X, because all of a sudden now this is going to be my everyday driver, because it gets longer mileage. It has captain seats. It's got, and actually the passenger seat in the front swivels so you can turn around and talk to people behind you if you want it. it has a lot of cool things. It just they were showing me there's all kinds of stuff on YouTube, and they were showing diagrams and stuff, and there's pictures of it, and there's this has been in the works for quite a while, and he hasn't released it because it probably wasn't going to get the kind of mileage he wanted it to. But with the semi getting 600 miles to the charge, why not do that in a van? And it's going to be made for deliveries too. I mean, you can buy it because Amazon's using the Rivian. I think Amazon owns part of Rivian, and the Rivian, I think it's Rivian. They own one of them. I think it's Rivian. I think Ford and Amazon own Rivian. You know, Rivian's been using electric vehicles Rivian is electric vehicle, has been using vans, made vans, I guess, for Amazon. So if they can do it, but they're only getting like 250 miles to the charge. So now if Tesla puts one together, they're going to put it together bigger, better, and faster. So they've got, and nobody else is making money at these electric vehicles. So the winner of this whole thing is going to be Elon, because he's going to put it together right. And that's the thing. He's going to put it up, up, up. You know, he's going to make it. He's going to make it what it needs to be. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really game-changing way. And you know, just it excites me because my lease is coming up, and I couldn't figure out what I was going to do, because I would keep this. I'd really think about keeping this, but you know, if I had a chance to buy another van, I would probably opt for the van.
So you want to go back to your roots?
I want to drive the van down by the river.
And you want to live out of the back?
Well, I only want to do that. I really only want to do that if I continue the acting. You know, it'd be cool to go camping by the ocean. That'd be kind of cool. But I'm not the camper. I'm not the guy that wants to sleep on the ground. I'm the guy that wants to sleep in a mattress. So.
Well, having slept on the ground many a day camping, I'm past that too.
Yeah, I'm not at an age where I can do that.
Now we're into hotel rooms.
Get out of here.
We're not into camping and
my idea of roughing it is
streams.
My idea of roughing it is a hotel room with a really nice bed. That's roughing it to me.
That's it. Yes. That's what happens when you're 70 years old.
Yeah, my idea of roughing it is not being home. So, yeah. Oh,
remember I met you when you were in a van?
Yes. Actually, no. When you met me, I had a beat up '66 Plymouth Fury that blew up on the way to work or on the way to school one day, and then I had to figure out what I was going to do next because my car was gone. And then I got the van, and I had a friend that built me a bed in the back, and that was it. So,
had yourself an outdoor bedroom.
You bet. Yeah, it was. You know, it's fun that the where I came from is I don't believe many people believe my story, because they're like, there's no way you lived in a van. Oh yeah, there was.
Oh yes, he did live in a van, people. Yes, he did. I remember going out one morning and it was cold.
Oh yeah.
And I knocked on your back door and opened it up, and you were under about 12 blankets.
You're exaggerating. You're exaggerating now. I didn't have the money for 12 blankets. What are you talking about?
Cold vapors were coming out of your nose. It was cold out there.
Well, one of my favorite stories is when I was trying to have sex with my first girlfriend, and it never happened. Every time we tried to do it, something was horribly wrong, and it was one of my favorite stories. I'm going to tell it on stage someday, because it's definitely worth it. But you know, the thing is, it made me who I am today. So, and that's for better or for worse.
Well, it depends how you look at it, Mike.
Yeah.
It depends how you look at it.
Well, I mean, I think for me, it definitely is a step up. But many people probably don't feel that way. I mean, the fact
If
is,
you're going from that van to a Tesla, it's actually a major step up.
Yeah, but you can't sleep in a Tesla as easily because I've tried. I tried at the last time I was in. I think it was one of the last times I was in New York. I tried sleeping in there and it didn't work out so well. I did buy a mattress for the back of it though, so next time it'll be better. But hopefully there isn't a next time. But there are times that I wish I had a mattress because when you get just like I'm going to be taking a trip to Atlanta in a couple weeks, so I probably will drive right through. But on the way back, maybe I won't if I have a mattress. You know, I might just stop and. But I did the full self-driving for most of it. Oh, here's something. So there was an update in the Tesla. This I think I left on. Well, I can't say I think I left on. I left on Friday night at 11:30. There was an update that was 2 days before. Something in the update was weird. I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you why I say that. In all the times I've used the full self-driving, it's worked pretty good. Since they did the last, I'd say in the last year, it's done really good. I might have one thing that it took a wrong turn, maybe every couple months. On my way to Rhode Island, it made 4 errors. It turned 4 places it wasn't supposed to. One was I was going to a charging station, and it tried to turn a street early. That's no big deal. I just took control and I made it go the right way. When I left there, it was supposed to get on the highway to go north. It took the south highway. It even said it was going to take the north highway. It took the south highway. That's wrong. That's really wrong. What was the other 2? It was, when I got to the place, it parked in the wrong driveway. It was off by only one house, but it was still, if this was redneck neighborhood, you'd be, if a Tesla pulls up in your dirt road and you're looking at a shack or something, he might come out with a shotgun. So
it might not be your Tesla anymore.
Right, and so that was the third one, and then it did one last one that was wrong. But that was really odd that it did 4 mistakes in one day. So yeah, that was kind of weird because it shouldn't do it. Like I said, one every couple months maybe it would do it. And I use my self-driving all the time. And for a 6-hour drive, that was really nice because I didn't have to stress out. I didn't worry about the traffic. I just let it go. I just sat there and watched the traffic, made sure everything looked good from the sides, watched a little TV. You're not supposed to watch TV, but I watched a little TV, listened to a lot of music, and it all was basically right. But that 6-hour drive, I should not have had 4 errors. So I'm anxious to see what happens when I go to Atlanta, because I'm going to drive down to Atlanta. And I'm going to stop to see Rich and give him a guitar and take a guitar, and I'm getting my Mike Trash and the Barking Rats guitar that was finished in January. I'm getting it going to get it that weekend. So that's cool because I'm really excited about that guitar, and I'm going to take him some other stuff that I'd like to get worked on. So hey, stop making noise. You can be down here, but don't make noise. You're not part of the show. I know you want to be. But you're not. Is that good? Okay. Come on. You would do this any other time, but when I'm on the air, you make me look stupid. Don't look at me like that. Anyway, this dog is a trip.
You know what that look said?
What's that?
You know what that look she had said? It's not hard to do, Michael. Make you look stupid.
Oh, it is hard to make me look stupid because I'm just a compassionate, super nice guy who knows all the answers, whether you want to admit it or not.
There you go.
Christine
Whether
says,
you know it or not, you're always right.
That's right. I'm always right. It says, Christine says, really worse, and is laughing at me. I hope maybe she's laughing at you. Maybe that's you. Anyway, it was a good trip. I was really happy. This trip to Atlanta is going to be interesting too, because like we got this really, really nice house. It sleeps like 20, I think. I don't know how you fit 20 people in there. It's a really nice house. It's a big house. I think there's going to be 4 of us staying there. For the price, it was well worth it because it was right near where I need to go, and so I'm probably going to be a PA on this after when I'm not getting my own pictures taken. I'll probably be an assistant. So we'll see. I might, just because I'm going to be bored if I don't have anything to do. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Was there any more Elon stuff? I think that covered it. The van looks really, really cool because it has different configurations of the van. I can't use a high top because it won't fit my garage. Hey, no honking the freaking chicken. Stop it. Just be a good dog. He figures if he honks, I'm going to give him something to shut him up. So that's it's funny. Christine had the garage door open, and I went down to help her get something, and she had the door to the garage open, and I unblocked, or I have a block between the workshop, which is you go from the garage to the workshop to the stairs. That was moved so she could get in. So I went down to help her. Well, when I went down, the dogs came down with me. They ran out thinking they were going to get, to go somewhere. And the garage door was open. So they took off out the garage. And so I opened the Tesla door, and of course Cheyenne comes in. She goes, "Oh, we're going for, I can't say the word, but and he runs way up the driveway, and I yelled his name. He runs way back down, runs way back up, and I couldn't get him to go in the car. Then I finally got him to go in the car so I could close the door. The dog was a trip. He was like, "Oh, freedom! I get to run! I get to run!" Oh man, I love my dogs. Yes,
I can tell.
I do love my dogs. Yes, I do. You're not a very good producer, though. You really need to produce more on this show. Next, are we done with Elon? I think we are, right?
I think we're done with Elon.
I got a question to ask you, though. Let's see how good your knowledge is. We're going to test your knowledge. Do you know where the term teddy bear came from?
No.
You do not. Does anyone in the chat room have an idea where the term teddy bear came from? There is historical reasons for teddy bear. And if I told you it had something to do with Teddy Roosevelt, would you be surprised?
Yes.
All right. Then let's open this up. How did teddy bear get its name? President Theodore Roosevelt had something to do with it, so did a real bear. Which is a scary thing when you think about it. So it says here, perhaps the question first occurred to you in the toy aisle when you were picking out a present for your kid in your life. Or maybe when you were cleaning out your old toys from the attic of your childhood home that you asked yourself, how did stuffed bears become teddy bears? It's a story involving President Theodore Roosevelt, a bear hunt, a political cartoon, and a candy shop owner in New York. The hunt, the cartoons, and the toy. So in 1902, Mississippi Governor Andrew H. Longino invited Roosevelt on a bear hunt. And the president, who would be in the state to try to settle a border dispute. Can you imagine? This is how far back we're talking. There was a border dispute with Louisiana. That's how old it is. Okay. His luck, however, was terrible. For the first few days, there was not a bear to be found near Roosevelt, let alone shot. Anyone on the hunting party who did spot Oh, okay. That did spot an earth sign, was forced to hold their fire. I guess earth sign must be another name for a bear. According to the biographer, Edmund Morris, in the Theodore Rex, Roosevelt insisted on first blood, writing ahead of the trip, "I'm going on this hunt to kill a bear, not to see anyone else kill it." So you know that Roosevelt kind of reminds you of me. If I was on a hunt to kill a bear, I want to be the one that kills the bear. So I wouldn't kill a bear though, because I'm too nice. Unless the bear is coming at me, then game on.
Bye-bye bear.
Yeah, if it's between me and the bear loses. Roosevelt had an interesting history with bears. He was nearly killed by a grizzly on a solo hunt in Montana in 1889. We're talking over 100 years ago. 150 years ago. And some of his supporters from West Virginia sent him a small bear with his children named Jonathan Edwards after the revivalist preacher as a pet in 1900. He wound up giving the bear to the Bronx Zoo the next year because we do not have the accommodations to keep him. Things came to a head in November 14. Holt Collier, a formerly enslaved man and legendary bear hunter who was serving as Roosevelt's tracker, and his dogs flushed out a black bear into the clearing where the president was supposed to be waiting. The dogs chased the bear into the pond where, Morris wrote, Collier threw a lariat around the shaggy neck and pulled tight and cracked the bear's skull with a butt of his gun carefully because he wanted it to stay alive. Unfortunately, Roosevelt was not there where Collier thought he would be. After waiting in a designated area for hours, the president and his hunting companion assumed no bear was coming and returned to camp for lunch. A messenger was dispatched to Roosevelt. You didn't have cell phones back then, so you can't just text a guy. Where he saw the scrawny, so it says here, the messenger was dispatched to Roosevelt, who rushed back to the scene to kill the bear. But when he saw that the scrawny creature was tied to a tree, he refused to shoot it. Someone else ended up killing the bear, not with a gun, but with a knife. Ultimately, Roosevelt didn't bag a single bear on the trip, but in a strange twist, he would soon end up lending his name to it. The reporters checked in on the hunt once a day, and it wasn't long before the reports of Roosevelt's refusal to kill a restrained bear made the papers. The president was lauded for his sportsmanlike behavior. The papers had harsher words for the bear, derided as incorrigible and uncultured. And for these Mississippi people, which one paper pinned, seemed as ignorant of a method as they are lacking in the finesse and technique of true sport. Washington Post. Wow, it's hard to think that the Washington Post is that old. Washington Post political cartoonist Clifford Berryman, reading about the event, found himself struck by inspiration. He drew a black bear, a poor, measly little cub with most of its fur rubbed off. He would later write with a white handler holding its leash, and Roosevelt holds one hand out and the other in his gun, but on the ground, muzzle up. The illustration on November 16, 1902 was captioned, drawing the line in Mississippi. And so here we got Roosevelt standing here, somebody holding the bear with a leash around its neck. I drew the cartoon of it from the description as sent by the Associated Press, Berryman recounted later. One senator thought it was so good that he phoned to me and asked me to make another bear cartoon where Roosevelt returned to the city. The resulting illustration, published November 19th, was the caption, "After the 20th century bear hunt." It seemed to make a hit. With that result, I continued the bear in all future cartoons in which the president appeared. The bear got more adorable each time. You can see Berryman's bear illustrations in his collection of the. Let's see. We'll put this collection up. Let's see what this collection looks like. Oh, I don't see a collection. Oh, I don't want to go through all this. I just kind of want to see the pictures of the bear. Okay, so it says, as Berryman, oh, okay, here we go. Here's a bear. Okay. The Brooklyn-based candy store owner had his wife, Rose, hand sew the cuddly stuffed bear, which he placed in the store window. It sold quickly. Rose made more, ultimately selling so many of the bears that began to mass produce the bears called teddy bears, Teddy's bears. In 1903, apparently with Roosevelt's blessing, the president apparently believed the toy would amount to nothing. Around the same time, the German toy company Steiff made its own stuffed bears, shipping 3,000 of them to the U.S. stores. Soon, the cuddly bears were called teddy bears. So it had to do with him and that hunt, and he didn't want to kill the bear that was tied up. Just kind of funny.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I never knew, and you know, obviously, well, not obviously, but I did have a teddy bear when I was a kid. I remember when my parents took it from me. I was so sad. So, all right.
And that was the start of it all.
Yeah, it was. So he got a bear named after him because he didn't kill it. That was funny. And the story keeps going on, so I'm sure there's more to it, but that's the basic gist of the whole thing. So there is the story of the teddy bear. All right, 10 grossest tours of all time. Do you have any guesses? I have not read this article, by the way.
I have no idea.
I'm going to say...
What do you mean by tour?
Music.
Tour?
Obviously, I'm going to say Taylor Swift, because I think that's got to be one of them. Who's on the left? Beyonce. How about that? Yeah, let's try Beyonce and Taylor Swift. How about Elton John?
There you go.
I wonder if Aerosmith's in that list. I'm thinking Rolling Stones got to be in that list. Rolling Stones, definitely. Come on, give me some bands. You're old like me.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're the 10 greatest of all time.
No, not greatest. No, not greatest.
Regional or
not greatest.
Genre specific.
No. It's not greatest. It's grossing. Highest grossing.
Yeah, well, Lynyrd Skynyrd, I doubt would be the highest grossing.
Well, they died quick
when you compare them to Rolling Stones.
Well, and they also weren't really around that long because they died. Right. And I would say their tours, though, that kept going, they never died, even though they died. The Doors couldn't make it because they were only 3 years. Van Halen, maybe, but there were so many bands. All right, let's see who they are. I'm tired of thinking of it. Who is it? Anybody got any things in the chat room? Yell them out. Okay, here we go. There's nothing like the thrill of live music. The euphoria of connecting with your favorite artist is a giant room filled with like-minded people is powerful enough to make you forget about the exorbitant ticket prices. Yeah, that's true. I remember as a kid, I was like, I wouldn't pay $20 to see a band. Now I would. I remember when I paid $40.
$20. Well, I remember those days.
I remember buying Kiss tickets for $40. They were $160 tickets. The guy wanted to sell them because he wasn't going to make it to the concert, so I paid him $40 a piece for them, and I basically stole them tickets. But I thought, I would never pay that price, but now I would. I mean, because now you're never going to see them. You know, Kiss might be one of those bands too.
Kiss might.
Because they sold everything. Okay, here we go. Number 10, Rolling Stones. So they're talking about, just their 2017 to 2021 tour was $547 million. Okay, so that gives us something to go on. I'm not going to give you the totals this time. Once we figure out the band, I'm going to ask you how much you think. Oh, so this is by tour. Okay, so the Rolling Stones have 10 and they have 9. A Bigger Band tour. That was a Bigger Bang tour. It was 2005 to 2007, and I'm covering up the amount. How much do you think?
800,000.
$558 million. The first one was 547
I meant
million.
more. I meant
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
800 million. So I was over.
Okay. Beyonce. Hey, what that was right about Beyonce. Her Renaissance World Tour 2023.
700,000. 700 million.
579.
579.
So these aren't in any order, are they? Let me see. 547, 558, 5. Okay, they're going up. Okay, so we're going up and. Oh yeah, because the more tickets. So it's got to be higher than 579 for the next one, probably. Let's see. Oh wow, she wore that. Might become a fan. Guns N' Roses.
See, now, I should have thought of that.
I should have thought of that too. But I wouldn't have thought that they were. This is from 2016 to 2019.
I would say 650 million.
584.
580.
So they're only going up a little bit by the looks of things. It seems to be hovering right around 600 million now. Next one. I did not look at this ahead of time. Harry Styles. Wow, I can't believe it. Hey, we'll take that from you.
Well, he must be a Harry Styles fan.
Yeah. Do you like Harry Styles? No? You do or don't? Your favorite musician is Mike Trash. It better be. He feeds you. Harry Styles, you got a guess?
I'm going to go with 600 million. I got to be close.
You're really close. 617. Next one. I don't even know what Harry Styles sings. What kind of stuff is he?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, wow. You too. Holy cow. You too, I believe that.
650 million.
By the way, this is 2009 to 2011.
Okay.
What was the number you had?
650.
Believe it or not, 736.
Wow, that was a big
That is
jump.
a freaking lot of money. Okay, next one. Ed Sheeran.
Well, see, now that's someone I'm not that familiar
Well,
with.
he was in
So-
he was in different bands. I wonder if that was during the Ed Sheeran age where he just. Oh, the Ed Sheeran plus Divide is the plus. Where's that Divide? Oh, it's the Divide tour. I don't know what that means. Well, I can tell you, 776. That's. I know who he is. I mean, I've heard some of his stuff, but I didn't know he was that.
Popular.
Yeah. Elton John's the next one.
Well, he's 800 million.
939. Almost $1
$939
billion. Almost $1 billion for that tour from 2018 to 2020. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so he did 2018, 2020, and 2022 to 2023. So that's over 3 years. So, okay, that's why he got 939 million. And that was his farewell tour, probably. Oh, yeah, it says farewell. Oh, I know someone I didn't think. Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
He
There's
does.
another one.
He does a concert at Madison Square Gardens every month. Every month. Now, Madison Square Gardens isn't a huge place, but I would imagine the ticket prices are pretty huge. I'll bet you he's one of them. Let's see.
And I bet you half those people have seen every one.
Yeah, well, I've seen him about 6 times, and I love to watch him. He is just phenomenal. He's one of my favorite concerts because he's so good. He's got so many songs, and the band plays, and everybody sings along, and he doesn't even have to sing anymore. Everybody sings along. I mean, how many times have you heard the Piano Man? And
Yeah.
you know the lyrics to all these songs, so he's a great guy to watch. Coldplay. Coldplay, really? I can't name one of their songs. I think I did
No,
one of
me
their
neither.
songs though. I think I did one of their songs in Uncle Sam Band back in the beginning. Well, they did 945, 900, almost $1 billion, and I can't even name one of their songs. And lastly, Taylor Swift.
Well,
Billy Joel
she's a
didn't
billion.
make it.
She's a billion.
Hers is probably, yes, 1.04. Her 2000, holy cow, this is in 1 year. This is 2003, 23 to 24. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Play with one of your not noisy toys. You've got lots of not noisy toys. He's doing it to get treats. He knows he will get treats because, you know, that's the game. I know your game. And this is not a reward. This is a shut up treat. I should give you the treat without opening it. That'll teach you. But yeah, that's an eye opener. Billy Joel is not one of them. I thought he would be one of them. So, all right, here, go eat it. Now I need to hide that. Oh shoot! Now Cheyenne's here. Go, come on, come here, Shy. Everyone wants to see you because you're the star. Come here, Cheyenne. Come here. All right, take his. I'll give you another one. Here, you take this one. She took yours. That'll teach you. Okay. All right. That was the highest grossing tours of all time. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. All right. Here's an interesting story. How Muhammad Ali, his 1970 comeback, led to a big money heist. Are you familiar with that?
No.
I am not either. This is a limited series about the heist, apparently, that they made. It's called Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist, starring Kevin Hart. Oh, Kevin Hart, that must be a comedy then. All right. I'm skeptical of it now. For weeks, the engraved invitations had been circulating in New York and Atlanta. In gold lettering, the card said that a man named Fireball was throwing a birthday party for Toby at 2819 Handy Drive in Collier Heights section of Atlanta's West End. The festivities were to begin in the early morning hours of October 27th, 1970, immediately following the historic comeback of... Okay, why is it opening all these... I gotta figure out why it does that. It should not be opening these windows that I didn't tell it to open. Especially in the middle of one of my stories. Come on, close, and do not close my story. Darn it. Okay. All right. The invitations were blanketed both cities because organizers knew Ali's return would attract fans from New York and elsewhere. It would also attract hustlers, pimps, drug dealers, and various other men and women with alternative means of earning a living. They would all be carrying cash and expensive jewelry. Even though the boxing fans were used to witnessing robberies in the ring and on judges' scorecards, this time would be different as they all celebrated Ali's victory. They'd be victimized by one of the most brazen armed robberies the city of Atlanta had ever seen. Atlanta was not conventional choice to act as site of Ali's comeback. From 1967 through 1970, the boxer formerly known as Cassius Clay had been fighting the federal government after declaring himself a conscientious objector and refusing to enlist for military service in Vietnam. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison for draft evasion. After being freed on bail, Ali appealed his sentence. But the stigma endured. The boxer was stripped of his heavyweight championship and effectively blacklisted from the sport. with states refusing to grant the 28-year-old a license to compete in the South, where racial tensions remained high. It seemed unthinkable that any official would endorse Ali to return to the ring. This is all stuff that I knew already. Robert Castle thought differently. The New York-based attorney had helped promote a Frazier bout and knew Ali's comeback would be a lucrative event. So he asked his father-in-law, Atlanta businessman Harry Pett, to phone Georgia State Senator Leroy Johnson. Pett and Johnson were friends. Johnson, one of state's few black elected officials, considered the treatment of Ali unfair and agreed to see what he could do. This was all, what year was that? 71? Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, 1970. 70. Okay. So, all right. Johnson discovered Georgia had no laws governing the sport of boxing, which left permission to hold events up to multiple municipalities. Johnson reached out to Atlanta Mayor Sam Massell, who allowed the fight to proceed, provided Castle donated $50,000 of the revenue to an area drug rehabilitation program. Ali's comeback was set for October 26th, 1970, against Jerry Quarry, who had recently upset top heavyweight contender Mac Foster. That weekend, locals and tourists alike ascended upon Atlanta's Hyatt Regency Hotel, as well as the 5,000-seat auditorium, and paid up to $100 for a ringside seat. That's back in those days. That was a lot of money. Fans in other cities could watch the bout on closed circuit TV. I remember closed circuit TV. I actually saw closed circuit TV at Harrisburg. What was that? Not the Field House. It was the. Oh, they wear funny hats. They wear funny hats. What was that?
Oh, the Shriners.
The Shriners, yeah.
Oh.
They used to have pro wrestling in that Shriner place, and I remember watching Ali versus Inoki in that in what was that, like 72 or something like that. My dad paid big money for that closed circuit TV, so all you were watching was a screen, a super big screen, and you're paying a lot of money. Back then they didn't have pay-per-view, so you had to. I don't remember what that year that was though. No, that was later. That was probably 76, somewhere around then. Anyway, Ali was set for the comeback against Jerry Quarry. Has a 5,000-seat Civic Auditorium. They paid $100 for ringside seats. And if you wanted to see, you could get it closed circuit. So, shaking off the years of ring rust, Ali was declared the victor by technical knockout in the third round, when a cut forced Quarry's trainer Teddy Bentham to call off the fight. When Ali celebrated his victory at the Hyatt, surrounded by friends and celebrities, carloads of events not quite so famous attendees were beginning to gather at 2819 Handy Drive. Upon entering the front door, they had expected to find a raging party. Instead, they were met by men in ski masks wielding sawed-off shotguns. So you think you're going to a party to see Ali, and you get robbed at the door. That's kind of weird. One by one, the party goers were maneuvered into the basement and ordered to throw their cash and jewelry in a pile. They were told to strip down to their underwear and lay flat on the floor. As more people showed up, by some estimates, up to 200 guests arrived. The pile of valuables grew. The victims were forced to stack themselves on top of one another. Sounds like a party. The heist, which was slow and deliberate, took hours. The robbers stuffed goods into yellow and white pillowcases. Around 3 a.m., the gunmen departed, dragging 2 hostages with them. They were dropped off at the other side of town. 3 hours later, given $10 for cab fare. See, that's nice. They gave them $10 for cab fare. But police were called, and an investigation was soon underway. But solving the robbery was one where most of the victims were criminals that they stole from. So that wasn't too easy to deal with. So authorities looked closely at the homeowner, a small-time criminal named Gordon Chicken Man Williams. He earned a name by purchasing chicken sandwiches, which he would then hand out to attractive women in hopes of charming them. I'm going to have to try that someday.
There you go.
Get yourself a chicken sandwich, and maybe you'll get a little, little something, I just can't imagine the mindset of someone in that era that they, just give them a chicken sandwich. That'll get them
That will
something.
do the trick.
Authorities look close. Okay. But one of the leading investigators on the case, a lieutenant named J.D. Hudson, knew Williams was relatively clean. Hudson had been tasked with serving Ali's bodyguard at the fight and had spotted Williams, whom he'd known for decades. In attendance at the same time, Williams' girlfriend, Barbara Smith, said she was helping prepare the party when the gunman had burst in. Williams had only given permission for the criminal associate known as Fireball to use the house for a party. Clues were scarce, and eyewitnesses' testimony was difficult to secure. Most of the victims were of the robbery were from out of town and wary of talking to police. Only 5 filed official complaints. Most left Atlanta without even giving authorities their contact information. The only real tip came from an anonymous phone call from someone who said that a robbery had been set up to pay off a drug deal gone bad in New York City earlier in the year. So these people all made money off of Ali, just thinking that, and he took all the money from criminals, so nobody was going to say anything to the police. The first real break came 2 days later when a shotgun and yellow and white pillowcase were found near the house in leather satchel. The gun was traced to a man named Jimmy Houston Hammonds, who had said he had bought the gun from 2 friends, James Jackson and James Ebo. Both men had multiple aliases and were known to be involved in criminal activities. Hudson went to Jackson's apartment, but no one was home. Still, he lucked out. Jackson's bed had a yellow and white bedsheet. A month later, Fulton County grand jury indicted Hammonds, Jackson, and Ebo, who was named under the alias of James Henry Hall, on 6 counts of armed robbery each. Hammonds was already in custody, but there was no sign of the other 2 men. Hudson figured one of the 2 things would happen. Either the police would find them or their victims would, especially now that they had named them in the papers. If the victims found them, there wouldn't be any kind of trial. So, yeah, wonder why. Yeah, you don't steal from criminals because you really are, Anyway, it says here.
The police didn't need to look for them once they put the names in the paper.
That's right. Hudson was right.
They'd find them sooner or later.
That's right. Hudson was right. On May 8th, 1971, Jackson and Ebo were found shot to death inside a parked Cadillac in the Bronx. A third man, Donald Phillips, was also killed. Robbery didn't seem likely as both guns were, and $700 in. Oh yeah, so they killed him. You know they didn't kill him for that because it says their guns and $700 in cash had been left in the car, and 11 shots had been fired. New York City detectives couldn't figure out the motive until Jackson and Ebo were identified as suspects in the Atlanta robbery by Hudson, who flew out of New York to consult authorities. We said last fall it was a question of who caught up with them first, the police or the victims. Hudson told the New York Times it appears the victims got there first. So, oh man, that's crazy. Who would have thought that Muhammad Ali would be the backdrop for a big crime like that?
Really?
All right, let's see here. Oh, here you go. Were you a friend of? Were you a friend? Were you a fan of Friends?
No.
Fine. Play along. Play along.
My daughter Mag is in love with Friends.
Good. Put her on and you get off. I need a yes. Pretend. Okay. Well,
Okay. I love Friends.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Well,
Props.
Jennifer, I've always liked. But...
Well, yeah. Jeez. And I like cake. Anyway, Props and memorabilia from Friends are headed to auction for the show's 30th anniversary. You can buy Rachel's sweater, Phoebe's denim jacket, and a reproduction of the Central Perk couch are headed for auction on September 23rd. When Friends premiered in 1994, people could not get enough of it. Oh man, I could not. My girlfriend, let's see, I'm trying to think. Did she watch it or not? I think she, let's see, I was between girlfriends, so the first one didn't, but the second. Pam watched Friends like it was the best thing on this planet. I don't think Jamie watched it, so just Pam watched it. She used to watch every episode over and over and over again. If I see one episode, I'm good. It says when Friends premiered in 1994, people couldn't get enough of it. The sitcom, starring Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, and Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, and David Schwimmer, was a top 10 show for NBC. That's not true what they're saying. They said for NBC for its entire run to 2004. That's not true. When they originally ran, they didn't have a good time slot, and they were in danger of being canceled. So that, I believe that's incorrect. Anyway, you can go to juliansauctions.com. Let's see what they got. Oh, LeBron James game and shoot war. Okay, that's neat. Oh, I'm gonna have to take a look at this sometime. I like to look at these auction. I was doing that one auction that took props from TV shows and stuff, and it was really cool. It's right in Pittsburgh, so I was looking at stuff to see if there was anything I could get off of that. They had the one you could buy arms. You could they had arms because it was a horror movie. The one movie was a horror movie, and they had limbs of people you could buy. It was really weird. 5 dresses from Raquel Welch, Part 2. Hey, this is actually pretty cool. This is actually better than the article. Christine McVie's legacy lives on. An auction to celebrate the songbird life and giving spirit. Lady Gaga has an auction. This is pretty cool. Gonna have to take a little look at that. So I guess they're gonna do some Friends stuff. Wonder if I could do. That's Prince's guitar. I know that's not up for sale. That's Michael Jackson's jacket. That's probably not up for sale either. You guys are teasing. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Yep, here's Friends. Oh yeah, autograph stuff. $800 for an autograph script. $2,700 for a cast signed script. Oh man, that's crazy. Wow. Jeez. Some people have too much money. I don't know what that's like. That's a Rembrandt Friends theme song guitar. Wonder how much that's going for. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, you can buy Friends memorabilia. Here's something from B.B. King. Oh, Sam Rivers gave it to B.B. King. Okay. Yeah, I always like these kind of sites you can actually get to see. I got a guitar signed by Kiss, and I would bet that's worth some money today. I bought that probably around 2000, the year 2000, not the amount. I bought it off a charity auction, and I thought that would be cool to have, but I don't know if it's worth anything or not. It's got to be worth something. It's got to be worth at least what I paid for it. So, just kind of, I like things like that. Because it's not like you can fake autographs. That's the one thing, but it's kind of cool. All right, next thing.
Do you think we can fake autographs better with AI than we could before?
I would imagine, yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, I'll tell you a story about AI that's really cool. I may have said it before the show, so if I said it, you have to hear it again. I don't think I told you this or not. I might have. It's hard to say. So, in my acting classes, one of the things that you learn quickly, when they give you a script, they tell you should, before you ever do the script, you really need to sit down and do a script breakdown. And a script breakdown, basically, you find out some key things about what's going on. You get to see who is this character you're playing, what did he do before he got to this point? What did he do? What is going on back there? What are you doing? Can't you, like, just lay down? You could, you know. What did they do before this? Where are they going after this? And you have to actually break down what each relationship is with everybody. What the lead character's relationship is with your character and everybody and all that stuff. So you can come up with an authentic version of this person. Also, it teaches you what words, when you're saying a sentence, would you say that you would emphasize in every sentence. So I was sitting there and I had to do Sunday I did 8 scripts. I did 8 auditions. Monday I did another 3. So this weekend I did like 10, 11 different auditions. But anyway, the last 3 that I did, I decided I was going to try something, because you said AI, okay? I said to AI, now first off, if you use AI correctly, it's a great tool. So what I did was I asked AI, I took a copy of the script, I uploaded it to AI, and I asked it to break down the script like Stella Adler, because that's the type of acting I'm doing, is Stella Adler. And I said, could you tell me what words you would that you would emphasize? So it went through, and in 15 seconds had a complete script breakdown, had a complete analysis of the script, why this person is like this, and what their relationship was to each other. And it also told me the way to say the words, where to slow down, where to speed up. Everything my acting teacher tells me. It did that quickly with each script.
Wow.
Now, the reason I tell you that is multiple reasons, because wow. I mean, I looked at that and I'm like, it would have taken me at least 20, 30 minutes to do that one scene. And it did the whole script in that period of time, that short 15, 20, 30 seconds. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about it was the reason I even thought of doing it. I use my AI for a lot of different things, like the RIPs. I let it generate the RIPs. But I also use it for my script, for Flocked, for instance. What I do is, my AI generator, when I write a script, I feed it into my AI. And so my AI knows everything about my characters that I know. And what I did was, I will take that and, well, the other day I was coming up with ideas. I was writing down ideas for other episodes. Not the whole script. I was just coming up with ideas, like what would I write about next? And I decided I wanted to see what AI would do. So with the AI, let me see, where did I put it? I put it under Flocked. Here it is. Under AI, I just kind of wanted, like, you can only think of so much yourself. So what I did was, I said, give me some scenarios of what my Flocked, I said, first thing I did is I said, do you remember Flocked? And it came back and said, yes, that's your script on this and that and this and that, and it features this and this and this. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. It remembered everything I told it. And I said, well, I'm trying to come up with new ideas for Flocked. What do you, give me 10 ideas of new scenarios. And it came up with, wait a minute, I will show it to you as soon as I figure out where I put it. Let's see. I was so amazed that it did that actually. Oh, what, maybe I need to, no, I think I copied and pasted it somewhere. It actually did all of that things. And it came up with the names of the episodes and everything. But it didn't write the episode. It just wrote a little couple lines about what each one is about, which each episode is about. And I thought that was really kind of cool because, you know, I have all these things, like when I come up with something, I'll write it down and I'll put it in my OneNote. And then when I did that script that I did the other week, I sat down and I just looked at what my ideas were for each of them, and I took one of those ideas and I decided to write about it. And when I did that, it actually came out totally different than what the episode was originally going to be, because I wrote it from beginning to end without actually writing oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here. So now you can see, well, you kind of see it. So it came up, I said, remember my show called Flocked? I need ideas for different episodes. Can you help? It said, here are some episode ideas for Flocked that can add humor, depth, and character development for the series. The rent mix-up. Mike realizes he mistakenly charged different rents for each of the women. Chaos ensures when the group tries to figure out how to handle the financial situation causing tension. Okay, that's an okay idea, but this one is really good. Keep in mind that Maggie is actually a secret agent, but we don't know that. We know her as, you know, she works in a bar, she works wherever we never actually establish where she works. She's the only character that we haven't done a backstory on. And there's a reason for it, because we're going to talk about it in the future. But it says Maggie gets called away on a secret mission, and she has to cover her tracks to prevent her roommates from discovering her true identity. The episode can include funny scenarios where she almost blows her cover multiple times. And I thought about that. I thought, that's genius. It's absolute genius. Because we don't know yet that she's a secret agent, but at some point we're gonna reveal that she's a secret agent. So if I have an episode where she does this would be really kind of cool, right around this episode. So it gave me 10 really cool things, and I said, can you give me 10 more? And it gave me 10 more. And they're all pretty good ideas. So the Ponzi payback. Raven discovers the mastermind behind her Ponzi scheme that ruined her life is living nearby under an alias. The episode follows her attempt to confront him and her roommates offering various ways of support and ridiculous plans to help her get revenge. It's genius. It's exactly the kind of thing I should be doing, and it was all given to me within 15, 20 seconds. So now I just got to write an episode around it, but it's the idea's there, and it gives me really good ideas. And what I'll probably do is combine some of these ideas to make them into a 30-minute episode. So it could be pretty cool. I gave it to you already. This guy I bought something from to have it delivered. I guess just send over something. I sent you the address in PayPal already. Anyway, so, you know, just kind of, you can use AI for so many things and so many, I was just amazed that I could do that. And it's your best friend. You can use it as deep of a helper as you want, and you can use it. You know, it just amazes me that you can do this crazy stuff with it. And
Well, I'm amazed because I've used it to ask theological questions,
yeah,
and I've used it to help with sermons,
yeah,
and it is pretty good.
yeah. And some of the things I've done is like I'd ask it to do. There was something that I needed an answer for that I needed a quick answer, and it had to do with something that. Oh, what was it? I should pull it up so I could look. But it answers like anything. Anything you could ask it, it seeks out. If there's an answer, it'll tell you the answer, and it saves so much time.
It's incredible how fast it works. 'Cause
Yes.
I know the one question I added there, it had access something on the internet, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it did it in seconds.
Yeah, it's just insane how fast that thing works.
And that's just Chat 3.5. Can you imagine what the other versions can do?
Well, you know, I tried Copilot too, and Copilot's fast too, but so far I like ChatGTP best. It's been very reliable. So, you know, it's just it's an interesting thing to me because when it first came out, I was skeptical, and plus originally it was giving me wrong information, which was not good. Like when I had multiple RIPs to do. Let's say I did Suzanne Summers first, and she died of breast cancer. Then I did the next one, and it's a guy, and it would say that he gave money to breast cancer. I'm thinking, well, that's kind of weird. And they had my dates wrong, and all that stuff was wrong with the ChatGTP. It was like it kept taking the last question, and it would create a new answer using the last information's question, and I was like, that's not right. And the other ones did it right, like Copilot and all that did it right, but ChatGTP didn't. And plus, ChatGTP was 2 years behind on like it shows they are not dead yet, so I can't do it. I'm like, but they're dead. And then I realized that as of 2020 or whatever, they weren't dead, so it wasn't going to be able to give me that answer. So I had to rephrase my question. I rephrased my question saying, give me their career highlights and assuming they were dead, you know, things like that. But now it's caught up. Now everything, it has all the dates correct so far. For the past couple months, it's been real good. So it's an amazing tool. I wish I would have had that when I was younger and when I was working, because I could have found answers to things so much quicker. When we were in college, just imagine our reports would have been done, you know?
Yes.
I find it really interesting and how it does. You know, and you can decide whether it's critical thinking or whether it's creative thinking or whatever type of thinking you want it to be. That is cool too, because, you know, depending on what your topic is. So I found that interesting too. I've been playing, you know, whenever I need an answer for something, you know, boom, that's the first place I look now, because I don't have time for this other crap. But it's interesting. It's interesting how fast and how reliable it's been. So, all right, next thing. Let's see what we got here. Okay, trying to delete friends. It won't let me delete it. Okay. Here's a weird story I found today. Legs, noses, and Loch Ness monster. 8 bizarre Lloyd's of London insurance policies. That to me is one of the strangest things. Hollywood loved to partner with Lloyd's. You know, wrestlers use Lloyd's of London too. They do it to insure their back, to insure their knees, and stuff like that, so that if they have an injury in the ring. So it's interesting that this article came out. It said in the 1920s, silent film star Ben Turpin had a striking physical resemblance, strabismus or crossed eyes. His appearance was so familiar with film goers and so enigmatic endemic to his comic performance, or so he believed. In 1921, Turpin opted to take out an insurance policy arranged by insurance marketplace Lloyd's of London that would pay him $25,000 in the event his condition spontaneously resolved. So just the idea of that is just weird. But this was so perplexing, as strabismus doesn't typically fix itself. Surgical intervention is often necessary, but Turpin wasn't really concerned with that. It says here that the insurance policies have been used for decades as publicity tools. When Lloyd's takes on riskier propositions like performers failing to appear on set or stunts going awry, the firm often indulged Hollywood press agents who like to spin conventional accident insurance into something novel. Turpin's coverage cost him $106.18, or about $1,810 today. Here's some of the other performers' insurance policies. Charlie Chaplin's voice. Now, he was a silent film star, right?
He was a silent film star.
I couldn't imagine that being worth a whole lot. Anyway, silent film star Charlie Chaplin had long resisted to switch to talkies. He didn't make one until 1940, The Great Dictator. Though his little tramp character sang in 1936's Modern Times, yet audiences still had a pretty good idea of what Chaplin's speaking voice sounded like. He enjoyed making the occasional radio program. The actor appeared on a 1929 broadcast and other I lost myself. Where am I? Oh, with other film stars, including Douglas Fairbanks, John Barrymore, in which he was to deliver humorous anecdotes, and he insured his voice for $5,000. The policy cost him $50. It would be paid out in full to automobile maker and program sponsor Dodge Brothers if Chaplin's voice gave out. It didn't. Jimmy Durante's nose. Why would you insure your nose?
Because that was his claim.
Yeah.
That was his claim to fame.
Comedian Jimmy Durante was named the Great Schnozzola for his oversized proboscis, a trait he considered essential to his image. The actor took out a $100,000 policy on his nose early in his career. Ironically, the policy was no longer in play when he actually needed it. In 1954, Durante was attempting to play piano with his nose when the keyboard lid fell on it. Ow! He later insured the nose of Dutch winemaker and taster Ilja Gort for €5 million in 2008. That's more than $8.5 million today. If Gort loses his sense of smell or taste, it would have a radical impact on the business. Abbott and Costello, I wonder what they did with them.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't imagine what they would do, but let's find out. One of the great cinematic comic teams of the mid-century Hollywood. With any talented duo, they were perpetual rumors about to split. In 1950, just before beginning the film Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, the two took out a policy which they'd be paid $250,000 in the event of their decoupling. A disagreement, accident, or death in the preceding 5 years would all count. That's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it is.
The two did part ways, but it came in 1957, 2 years following the expiration. I wonder how much money they really did make, though.
They made a lot of movies.
Yeah, they did.
I can remember watching Abbott and Costello movies on Saturday afternoons.
They were fun. I used to love their stuff.
Or Sunday afternoons. I'm sorry, it was Sunday afternoons. Godzilla was Saturday afternoons.
Well, that's a lot of money though for way back then. I just wonder how much, because $250,000 is a lot of money today. So imagine back then what
that was probably a couple million.
Oh, easily. I would say even
Easily.
probably more than that even, because you've got to think it's got to be at least, well, maybe times 10. Let's say times 10. That's 2.5 million. So yeah, that's Betty Grable's legs. With a pinup star of the 1940s who exuded a lot of sex appeal, so much that the 20th Century Fox opted to take out a $100,000 policy against any misadventure involving her legs. Any? I wonder what that any could be. The policy was later up to $250,000. Okay, so she was up there with Abbott and Costello. With that, as with the body parts, it was likely more of more comprehensive accident insurance. Lloyd's was also in business of insuring against any disfigurement to a star's face, on the premise that, see, they would have to do that with mine. They're going to have to do that with mine. Shirley Temple. What could she possibly, let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything that stands out. Can't think of anything. If she grows up, they got to pay her. Okay, Shirley Temple drew audiences in theaters in the 1930s as the original child star. She garnered a conventional publicity-fed Lloyd's policy with a highly unconventional stipulation. Should Temple be unable to perform her duties as an adorable moppet, she would be paid $25,000. But not if, in the language of the policy, she was injured owing to intoxication or because she joined the Army. Could you imagine Shirley Temple in the Army?
Army, really?
Oh, that's funny. A single grain of rice. What? In 1960s, Lloyd's issued possibly their smallest policy ever, a single grain of rice. There was no ordinary carbohydrate, but one that featured the likeness of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip and the Duke of Edinburgh. The engraved rice art was done to commemorate a visit to Hong Kong from the royal pair. Lloyd insured it for $20,000, but it traveled on exhibit in the 1960s. Now, you said did you say the Loch Ness Monster a while ago?
No.
You didn't? Why did I don't know.
It's funny what goes on inside your head.
Oh, there's things that people don't even want to know. So, okay, the Loch Ness Monster. Tales of the Loch Ness Monster or Nessie have persisted throughout the centuries. According to the legend, the beast dwells in Scotland's Loch Ness, taunting sightseers with occasional appearance above the water surface. While photos and videos sometimes stir interest, there has yet to be definitive proof, which is probably why Lloyd's decided to underwrite Cutty Sark, whatever that is. In 1971, the whiskey manufacturer offered a reward of £1 million, which is $2.4 million at the time, for capture of the beast, and turned to Lloyd's for coverage. The benefit, of course, was publicity for their whiskey. The company agreed to pay out, providing Nessie was at least 20 feet in length and confirmed to be a valid specimen by experts at the Natural History Museum in London. No such creature was ever offered up for inspection. That's some ridiculous stuff. Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's did such a brisk business in Hollywood that eventually the industry took note of the company's storied history, which dates back to the 1600s. I didn't know that. Feature film entitled Lloyd's of London was released in 1936 and stars Tyrone Power in an exciting tale of insurance fraud during the Napoleonic Wars. Lloyd's was the company that insured Lloyd's the movie for $1 million in the event the actors or Harry King grew incapacitated during filming. Incapacitated? That sounds violent. Co-star Loretta Young never made it to the set, preferring to set course for Honolulu instead. Lloyd's might have had to pay for the delay, if not for Madeline Carroll, who quickly stepped up to replace her. lest you think Lloyd's has never had to settle up, they had a fairly rich history of paying off claims. The company distributed $1 million to victims of the Titanic in 1912 and $400 million to Exxon Valdez oil spill, among other high-ticket losses. So that's kind of interesting itself, is that Lloyd's of London had to pay for the Valdez oil spill. So I don't know. I just found that interesting that, this Lloyd of London's thing. Did you have another story, or did we cover them?
Well, I mentioned Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Letter.
Let's talk.
To Congress.
Okay.
But I didn't go in depth in it.
You want to talk about that?
Well, Zuckerberg, of course, everybody knows that he's the head of Meta, Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
And he has written a letter to the Congressional Committee that's overseeing social media, and the obsesses, evidently, of the Biden administration,
right,
during COVID, and trying to get media to only publish government-approved messaging, and wanted to have anybody who did not agree with government-approved messaging shut down.
Right.
They wanted to censor it. And Zuckerberg wrote and said he was pressured by the Biden administration, and that he acquiesced to it, and that he was sorry and would never do it again, which gave conservatives all they needed, because to them it's proof positive that Biden Harris were involved in censorship.
So you think he's a Republican?
So he really has put a kibosh on Biden's story. But the left thinks it's acceptable government behavior, that the government should be trying to stomp down misinformation. They don't see anything wrong with what Biden did. And Harris, Vice President Harris, sees nothing wrong with what Biden did. It's the right that believes in free speech that sees something wrong with it. And they also figure that Zuckerberg's just pandering to Republicans because he figures that Trump's going to win. And so he's pandering to them now, so that Trump doesn't come in and do something drastic to social media platforms. So it's a whole, it was an incredible letter. The right feels vindicated by it, and who knows what the motivation in Zuckerberg's mind is.
Right.
We don't know why he did what he did. But to the right, it's a good thing. To the left, it's not. And isn't that the divide in our country anyhow?
Yeah.
It's to the right feels one way, and to the left feels another, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah. It's funny.
Just a mess.
It's funny.
So I believe that it was a First Amendment free speech violation, but I'm not an expert in it either. So,
although you play one on TV,
I played one on TV, yes.
Or at least on the radio. I'm looking for a post I made earlier today that's kind of funny. I made a post. And it was something about, I'm looking for the guy there it is. Okay. So I made a post this morning. It actually has to do with what you're talking about. Here it is. Okay, so I had this post. It's hard to find a friend who's cute, loving, generous, sexy, caring, and smart. My advice to y'all is don't lose me. Okay? It's funny. It's just meant to be funny. Okay? So I sent it, and a friend of mine, Avinash, he's a cool guy. He lives in Jersey. He's actually from India. He said, sounds like you all the way, Mike Trash. And so I answered him, and I said, let me open that. I guess you really do know me, except that I would never say you all. Okay? Again, playing on the graphic. And then he says to me, they threw in the punctuation to make the statement clearer. And then I said, Okay, so this woman or this statement here, I guess you really don't know me. I would never say you all. I said then they did take it off there. Oh, they did take it. So I got a warning from the almighty Facebook police that says that people would take offense to me because that's a racist remark. The remark was, I guess, the remark was, I said you all. I said I would never say you all, and then I said, what was it? What did I say to him? I said, oh, that's what it was. You know how those crazy Americans are. I said it was crazy Americans. Something about you all being something this, and all of a sudden I get this thing coming up saying you're making a racist remark against Americans. I'm American, and it didn't let me put it up there. I didn't realize it actually took it down. They actually took that freaking. It was nothing I said. I just got a warning from the almighty Facebook gods that said my last statement went against their standards and was racist against Americans. Do you believe that? They don't, obviously it's just a bot, but they still should at least look at it. Because I got it actually put a thing over the, I didn't know they actually took it off of there. That's ridiculous.
Well, if you live in Cincinnati, you better say y'all because everybody around here says y'all.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. So I said, Avinash said they threw in the punctuation to make the statement clear. And I said those crazy Americans and their lack of lack of grammar. That's the actual statement that I made that I got in trouble for. Those crazy Americans and their lack of grammar. That is a
racist remark.
That's a racist remark.
I don't know how you can read it any other way, right?
Right. I mean, especially since I apparently am not an American.
You're not an American at all.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of. Oh, I better not sing that, or I'll get a black mark for that too. That would be coming from YouTube.
YouTube will be down on you.
Oh, always YouTube. I have to watch everything I say on YouTube because they love to do that.
I'm surprised they're not flashing it right now.
They probably are.
I'll check.
Let me check my email, see if they did do that, because it usually comes pretty quick. Well, sometimes things come weeks later. Sometimes they come really quick, and that they both drive me crazy because Oh, Christine said she's so offended, y'all. I'm so offended, y'all. Those grammar police, man, it's crazy. I never got a thing like that before that day, so that's the first time that I got in trouble for doing it. So. It's crazy.
The bots are getting better, Mike.
Yeah, they are. Because I said those crazy Americans. I swear, it's so stupid. Stupid things are just. Oh, I hate Facebook for so many reasons. Oh man. Okay, where was I now? So you haven't.
My trash?
Oh, hold on. I didn't know I was going to talk. Hold on. Got to shut me up.
Hi, Max. How are you doing?
Shh. Okay. Now, okay. So is that? Are we done with that topic?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the mea culpa.
Okay.
And that for once in a moon, the Republicans actually won something. So
yeah.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
I had
from social media. They usually never win when it comes to social media.
Hey, keep the snoring down over there. Jeez, got one dog that snores, one that plays with a squeaky toy. Oh, so we talked about Joey Chestnut being disqualified from the hot dog eating thing.
Yes.
Here's his revenge. Joey Chestnut wins Netflix's live Labor Day hot dog eating competition. So yeah, he doesn't need them. He's got the Netflix to take care of him. Chestnut and Takaru Kobayashi competed against each other for the first time in 15 years in the streaming services live event hosted by Rob Riggle and Nikki Garcia. So I guess he beat that. You know, how's that guy skinny? How can he be?
That's what I was just thinking.
That's just is that's not fair. That's not fair.
I mean, where's it going?
There should be something, unless the AI changed it. Maybe the AI changed his body around, but that's not fair.
Because she's got something.
Is that a she? Oh, that is a she, isn't it?
Maybe?
That is a she, isn't it? Is it?
I don't know.
It might be. Actually, now that you mention it, that is a male face. Wow. And Nikki is spelled Nikki, so it probably is. Oh, wow.
I thought it was a woman. I thought she's the one that won the contest.
She lost. Right?
No, I mean the one he was.
Oh, okay, maybe. You know, I don't know if I probably told this story, but I got disqualified from an eating contest when I was a kid. They had this, I want to say it was around Thanksgiving time, a watermelon eating contest. And I got my mother to actually drop me off at the place. She went wherever she went, because back then you could leave your kids anywhere you wanted to and nobody would yell at you. She took me and I won a watermelon eating contest. I won 3 times and they disqualified me. Then I said I wasn't allowed to win anything else. And so that was my big claim to fame at probably 14. But
and
I didn't
never matched that feat, have you, Mike?
I have never reached that peak again. I'm trying. I just keep trying. I tried to be a winner.
You peaked at 14, Mike.
Yeah.
You peaked at 14.
Well, I'm only 15 now. What do you want? Oh, man. But I know I won a fishing rod, and I don't remember what else the other 2 things were that I won, but I was so excited because I won something for the first time in my life. And that really didn't help me. Anyway, let's see here. The winner was awarded $100,000 and presented a WWE custom-made championship belt. Despite Kobayashi once revealing plans for retirement, but wanting to battle his... Oh, that is a guy.
It is a guy?
That is a guy. He spells his name like a girl, though. Says despite Kobayashi once revealing plans for retirement but wanting to battle his longtime rival again, Chestnut was revealed as the champion eating 83 hot dogs. That's crazy stuff. I've been trying to hit 80 hot dogs for years, Chestnut said, before crediting Kobayashi for stirring the competitive nature out of him. He drives me. We weren't always nice to each other, but we push each other to do our best. You know, I kind of see this as an Olympic event in a couple years. There are so many Olympic events that shouldn't be Olympic events, so, you know, I don't put this past them. Says Chestnut beat Kobayashi in a 5 hot dog sudden death eat-off in 2009. Jeez. Oh, that's funny. That's just weird. Oh, wow. I didn't realize. Okay, so what is that noise? Are you doing something back there? What are you doing? Would you wake her up? She's snoring. When I heard Joey saying my jaw problem was fake, I really got upset. Kobayashi said, "This is the first time that my personal feelings are involved. I want to kick his ass." Chestnut is a 16-time Nathan's winner, including the last 8 years, and holds the record for the most hot dogs consumed in 10 minutes. How many do you think he did in 10 minutes?
50.
76. Jeez, that's a lot of hot dogs. That's too many hot dogs. I'm a big eater. I mean, at one time I was a big eater, but I could never eat that much. Kobayashi is the 6-time Nathan's winner. And let's see here. And the subject of a recent Netflix documentary, Hack Your Health, The Secrets of Your Gut, in which he revealed he planned to retire from competitive eating. In 2010, Kobayashi was banned from competing in the competition due to his contract dispute. He has broken world records for competitive eating and currently holds more than 10 world records for the sport. Wow, that's just crazy. Oh well, here's despite the order, it says here talking about the other Olympians Ryan Murphy and Max Irving and Ryan Lochte from the Olympics competed against Stoney in chicken wing eating contest. Stoney won after 53 wings in 3 minutes. 24-time Guinness Book World holder Leah Schutkiefer attempted to set the record for the most watermelon eaten in one. I bet you I could have beat him. The watermelon I'm an expert in. I trained for that when I was 14. So anyway, that's enough of the 76 hot dogs. That's a lot of hot dogs. That's just too many hot dogs.
Let's see a clip.
Well, let me see. I would probably want to play. Let me see which one we got. I did some new ones that I think are really good. I did one. Okay, do you remember back in early 2000s, Apple announced the iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is one of my auditions was to do that script from the iPhone announcement, and I kind of like this one. The guy's name is Ted Cooper.
Classy Like Trash, Dauphin, Pennsylvania. And I'm reading for the part of Ted's. This is the day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career.
By the way, that's the way they wrote it. They said that to start, where I stop and I say, well, once in a while. That was actually the way they wrote the script.
Okay.
Okay.
Apple has been fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple. It changed the whole computer industry. In 2001, we introduced the first iPod. It didn't change just the way we listen to music. It changed the entire music industry. Well, today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device, and we're calling it the iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone, and here it is. No, actually, here it is. But we're going to leave it there for now. So before we get into it, let me talk about a category of things. Most advanced phones are called smartphones, so they say. And they typically combine a phone plus some email capability, plus they say it's the internet. It's some sort of baby internet in one device. And they all have these little plastic keyboards on them. And the problem is they're not so smart, and they're not so easy to use. And if you kind of make a business school 101 graph of smart access and easy to use access, phones, regular cell phones, are right there. They're not so smart. and they're not so easy to use.
The nice thing about that is I lived through that, and so did you. But
That's
when
right.
when I lived through it, I was working for a computer distribution company, and I remember when they announced that, and I remember that speech, and the first iPhones were really, they weren't all that great. They were kind of clunky and big, and or well, not necessarily big, but they weren't. They had a lot of problems. But they were the ones that invented that category, and they took that category to new heights. And what they were saying was true. When they invented MP3s, I remember going to my well, they didn't invent MP3s, but I remember going to my producer when I was working on my album, and I said, "You're not going to believe this. You got to listen to this." He said, "What's that?" I said, "You got to listen to this MP3." He said, "What's an MP3?" I said, "An MP3 is the new music out there, the new music format." He said, "What is? Well, let me hear it." So I gave him my MP3 in my headphones, and he said, "I can't believe it's that clean, that pure." And that's when it was really not the bit that we're getting now. Nowadays you're getting 256 bits, and back then it was probably, geez, I'm thinking I was lucky if it was probably 48. It was some really low number compared to the way it is now. And he was telling me, wow, this actually could catch on. Now look at the music industry. Back then, before the iPhone and before that caught on, you were buying CDs or albums. You were buying vinyl, or you were buying tapes. You don't buy tapes anymore. And some people still buy albums, but really it did revolutionize music and the way we listen to music. I mean, now nobody buys CDs anymore. We just listen to them as they stream. That's bad for me. It's bad for me because I have Uncle Sam Band CDs, but it's good for the rest of us because you don't have to ever lose it. Once you buy it, you still own it forever. So, and movies. Right now, movies, you don't buy movies anymore. You don't buy DVDs, you just stream it. And if, like with Comcast, if you buy a movie from them, you get lifetime, quote unquote, lifetime access to that movie anytime you want. So the world has really changed because of technologies like Apple. The phone, before the iPhone, who else came up with something like that? They were the first ones to integrate all three of those. I remember when that fake internet was out, when you could only get certain sites that were geared towards phones and stuff. Now you can go on pretty much every site that's out there, you can go on. So they have revolutionized the way that we do anything, everything. When I didn't buy a phone till, I don't know, 2006. I said, I don't need it. What do I need that for? I can just go to my house and use a phone. I never thought that I'd be using it in my Tesla, which I didn't have because they didn't exist back then. All the things I have today didn't exist back then. So it's really weird how that all came together. So, hi. You guys bugging me for food again. Is she sending you over here with a message to feed you? But yeah, it's just funny how much this period of time has changed everything. Everything around us has been, revolutionized by the iPhone, by Apple. When I had my first computer, it was an Apple back in the 80s. Because, it was, nobody could envision us being able to understand computers back in the 80s. I was such a techie guy because I had an Apple and I had discs that I could put in the drive, and we used to go up to Hack and play with them all night, because we knew security. We could go in there at any time of day or night, and we could play the games and stuff, and they were so advanced. They weren't advanced. They were text games and stuff, and Load Runner and stuff like that. And nowadays, you try to put those next to each other, there's no way. I remember Heinrich would attack with his sword, and and then you take the disc out and put another disc in so you can go to the next part of the thing. And if you screwed up and you got an error on that disc, you just lost your character and everything. So that was so crazy.
Those are the days.
Yeah, 360K. Oh, that's funny because we lived through the evolution or the revolution. The BlackBerry phones. Yes, I remember the BlackBerry phones. They were kind of cool because they had that little keyboard on it so you could do your texting and stuff. And wow, it's so funny to think of those things. And now we're speaking into our phones to convert to text and all that stuff. We don't even type anymore. Or we talk to Alexa and have Alexa do everything for us, or whatever, it's just funny how things have changed in a short period of time, basically, because this stuff didn't exist. I remember when I had that Apple computer, my dad would watch us play, and it's like, would you want to play, Dad? No. And then I'd come down in the middle of the night, and he'd be like playing with my Apple. He didn't want me to know he was playing with it, but he would actually sit there and he figured it out. I couldn't believe that he would of all people be playing it, because he didn't seem very tech savvy at all. But I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because he actually figured out how to do it by watching us do it, and so that was funny too. But yeah, that's boy oh boy. So anyway, that all came from the Netflix story there. What else we got here? I got other stuff. Put some new stuff in here. Oh, didn't it download the stuff? Oh, that's I didn't switch categories. Here we go. Go to the categories. There we go. All right, there. Stop it. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, do you want to watch another one?
Sure.
I got tons of them. I just I can delete this one now because we watched this one.
That one we'll like, man.
I don't know if you'll like any of them. What would be a good one? Let's see. There was one that, this was a weird one. So they put an ad for this one. This guy is a killer, and I was auditioning for the killer. And I did the video, and the ad was still up. I checked the ad before I did the video because that was sitting in my bin for a long time. So I did this video, and after I got done and I edited it and got it ready to send, I pulled up the thing and it was still there, except that they had no parts you could apply for. It's like, what happened to the guy? And I sent the director a question like, do you know it's still up there, and are you really not needing anybody else? He said, thanks for telling us. We didn't know that it was still there. They actually cast that part. So this is the killer that I did, and his job was to kill. He kidnapped somebody, killed, and was going to kill him.
Classic Mike Trash, Dauphin, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to read a monologue from a movie that I did.
That's not the one.
It's called Watch and Listen, and the part is a homeless man. He's supposed to be a homeless man, but you find out later he's not a homeless man, but who runs across a guy who has lots of problems.
Oh, you'll like this one.
And he gives him a speech.
This isn't the one that it was supposed to be.
This guy, I think, is a lot like Jesus because he quotes scripture at him. And then later on in the show, you find out he isn't just a homeless man. So that's all I'll tell you about the thing. Anyway, the guy's called a homeless man, but here's the monologue. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. As we look not to the things that are seen, but the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient. The things that are unseen are eternal.
What do you think?
I think you delivered that excellent.
See, I could do that, and that's the part that I'm doing for Watch and Learn. I'm just waiting for the director to get back in the United States so we can finish the film. That would be nice to finish the film because that would be good footage for my reel that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I really like that part. Once I got down the eternal weight of glory, I just had a problem remembering eternal weight because those two don't usually go together. and they like, you guys like, eternal things. All these things have eternal in them. And I had to remember eternal because that's not my normal speech. I don't usually think of the word eternal. But that speech took me a while to learn because of the wording of everything. And but now I can do it, no big deal. But it took me a while for that one. I was so mad because I couldn't do that. I was having a hard time remembering the eternal. What was it? Eternal.
So, do you have any idea what that verse means?
Yeah. I hope so after as many times as I've done it. But the thing is, it was interesting to me to do that one because I never studied the Bible. Never. So, it was, and the guy said that he wrote it this way because he had a dream of this, and he actually woke up and wrote this script because of his dream. And this character is very pivotal because he runs into this character, and this speech, this monologue, is the turning point in this whole script. He was horrible to his girlfriend. He treated her like garbage. She kicked him out and said, "This is it, we're done." So he goes out and he's on a self-destruction mode, and he's laying in the streets. And I run across him and I tell him about this. And basically my job, he ends up passing out after I tell the speech. And I apparently drag him into a movie theater. I change my clothes from the ratty old stuff I was wearing to a really nice thing and tie him to the seats in the theater. And I basically show him his life and all the things he's doing wrong and all the people he's hurting. And just basically turn his life around. And just by the things we're talking about there, about I don't know, how do I explain this to you? I don't need to explain it to you because you know it all, but I want to sound somewhat intelligent, which might be difficult at this point. But it really is an awareness thing about the things that we, like for instance, talking about the things that are seen are transient, things that are unseen are eternal. You may not see the presence of a higher power, but it's there. And the things that you do see aren't as important as the thing. I think that the things that I don't even know how to explain it to you. I think I understand it mentally, but I can't explain it to me the way it is, so that I can see if I know what I'm talking about.
The outer man is dying. We're dying.
Okay.
We have X amount of moments to live.
Okay.
But the inner things, the things that go on in your spirit and in your soul,
okay,
they last for eternity.
Okay.
And we are all worried about the things that happen in our moments of life.
Yes.
But we're not really worried about what's going on in our soul and spirit that could make us have an eternity that we want.
Okay.
And we should be focusing on what's eternal.
Okay.
And our decisions about how we conduct our lives, who we trust, who we worship. who we follow.
Okay, that
That
makes
is the
sense.
important thing.
Okay, it's not really what I was thinking, but actually that makes sense. You know, when I think about things like it corresponds with what I'm doing, but I'm not. I never really thought of it like in that direction. I guess I really thought of it more in a more not really physical way, but a more less spiritual, I guess, is what I'm thinking. It's how you act
See, when
rather
he
than
took him, Mike, when he took him into the theater to show him his life,
yeah,
he wasn't worried about how much money he made
correct,
or what the title was.
right,
Like, I'm really proud of my daughter because she has a brand new job, a brand new title with a hefty raise.
okay,
But that's not who my daughter is.
right,
She isn't a title or a monetary figure or a new job. She's a child of God, and
yeah,
and her mom and I. That's what we wanted for her. We didn't really care what she did. We wanted her to be a child of God, and that's both of our daughters are childs of God, and they have totally different lives.
yeah. They are. They are totally different. They're the. I mean, I've only met them a short period of time, but yeah, they're totally different people.
They're totally different people, but they're both children of God, and that's a choice. That's not a birthright. That's a choice. And so when this Christ figure is showing this man his life, he was trying to say, you've got to make a better decision about how you act,
Yes.
about who you are, and about what you do, because it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you don't change.
That makes sense. I like your depiction of it better than my thought was. Yours was a lot deeper than mine. Mine was just from the surface
That's
of what.
why they call me the preacher, Mike.
That's right, preacher man.
Preacher man.
I called Ted DiBiase preacher man in the one promo I did about him, and I was like, wow, I probably shouldn't have done that promo. And then I went up and apologized to him afterwards. He said no, that was a great promo. Don't apologize for it. It was funny because I was like, oh man, I was really rough on him, but he knew what the business was. He knew that was my job but I didn't realize how how mean it sounded. Because when I did it, it didn't sound that mean. But when they played it on that big old screen, I thought, boy, I don't think I want to show my face. And when I came out for my ring appearance, there were really mad people in that audience. There were people that were grabbing at me and stuff, and it was kind of scary to a certain degree. But you do what you got to do, or whatever it is. I mean, I did my job, but afterwards, I thought maybe that's not a good job to have. Yeah, that's from my, like I said, that was from my one. I had to make up but I thought that was the Gravity Hill one. I wonder why that is. That's weird. That shouldn't have been under Gravity Hill. That was the audition I actually did for one called Devil, because I figured it would be ironic because I was playing this devil guy. They told me to do my own monologue. I thought, okay, fine. I'm supposed to be the devil. How about if I preach to you? So I did the opposite of what they expected. I did that monologue about the Bible. So we'll see if I get it. I may not get it, but it was still interesting to me to do it that way. And my teacher would have told me to do that too. He would have said, you should probably do something so off the wall, and that was it. I also did one on mental health that you might like. I had talked to you about this company that was looking for people to do little mental health things, and you do like, I don't know, you do like 5 or 6 a day, but it's all short little ones like this one, and you can make pretty good money at it. But this is one of them this was the audition I did.
Classy Mike Trash, Dalton, Pennsylvania. And I'm reading the mental health seminar. Let's start with the secure attachment style. This is when a person feels safe and confident in relationships. It often develops when a child experiences consistent love and support from their caregivers. In therapy, people with this style typically have healthy boundaries and find it easier to trust others. Next is the anxious attachment style. This happens when someone's uncertain about the availability of love. Imagine a child who receives attention inconsistently. Sometimes their needs are met, other times they're ignored. As adults, they might feel clingy or overdependent in their relationships, always fearing rejection. Therapy helps them explore these fears and build more secure connections. Then there's the avoidance attachment style.
It's me.
This forms when a child's needs are often dismissed, leading them to believe they can only rely on themselves. In adulthood, they may seem distant and emotionally unavailable. Therapy helps them open up and trust others step by step. Lastly, we have the disorganized attachment style. This is a mix of anxious and avoidant behaviors, often stemming from trauma and chaotic caregiving. These individuals might crave closeness, but they push it away, feeling confused and unsafe. In therapy, we work on healing past wounds and finding stable relationships. Remember, these attachment styles aren't set in stone. This is a safe place to explore these patterns, understand where they come from, and, most importantly, learn how to build healthier, more fulfilling relationships both with others and with ourselves. It's a journey of self-discovery, guided by compassion and understanding. No matter what your attachment style, you're not alone. And many have moved to healthy and secure attachments despite very difficult early childhoods.
Not bad.
Yeah, I kind of think that I could have done it a little bit better, but I was on a time crunch. I
No,
originally
that wasn't bad, Mike.
I originally did these on Saturday night, and Sunday I went to edit them because I did them real late at night. I went to edit them and there was no sound, and I was like, "What happened here?" There's no, so I had to do them again Sunday. So I actually was practicing all day Saturday for Sunday because I had to do all of them over again, and then like I said, I did 3 of them yesterday. So it was, but I liked that. I wish I would have done my hair differently. I was so tired when I was doing those, but yeah, the thing is, that is something I wouldn't mind doing those, that one there for the mental health thing, because like I said, they pay really, really well, and you can set your schedule. That's the one I want to guide you towards, because I think you could make some money doing that too. So I think that would be fun.
A lot of money. You mentioned that off show.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was nice money.
And yeah, I want to see what they say to me, and if they say anything to me, I'm going to mention you, because you don't have an account there, so you can't apply for it. So, but a lot of places do that and say, if you know somebody, let us know. And I'm just today's the first work day, so since the thing, so I figure I'll probably hear something this week. So there's another one I found it's just like that. But they want more of my time than I can give them. But their one, it's Pace. I could probably give you their information. Their Pace. If you look for Pace something on the internet, I'll look it up. I forget what it is, but they have an open call for people that want to do this and can make pretty good money. So they were talking about the same kind of money, and I thought it was the same company, but it's not. It's 2 different companies. Let's see what else we got. Okay. We can either go into more stuff. Apple announces its date for its annual Apple Day It's Monday, September 9th. That's next week. Companies expected to reveal the iPhone 16. There's a new Apple Watch and AirPods, new AirPod models. So I will. I usually like to see what they have coming up because you never know. Like they're always looking for something to shock and awe us, and they haven't really had anything real shocking lately. But their new watch is really good. But I don't know this new watch. I don't know what that's going to be. But the last new watch is pretty cool. That does some pretty interesting. For instance, I could go. I use my phone to drive my car. Like I don't have a key. Like when I walk up to the car, it knows my phone, and if I stand to the back of the car and wait 5 seconds, it'll open the back trunk. What the thing is, the new watch they have, the last watch that they had, has the capability of starting my car and doing all the things that my phone does without the phone. That's kind of cool. I was thinking of getting one of those, but now I'm going to wait to see what this new watch does. Because if I can do all that with my phone or with my watch, that'd be nice to have. Because there's a lot of times I'll come downstairs to get something out of my car, and I can't get out of my car. I can't get it out of my car because I didn't bring my phone down. But if I had my watch, and plus I could open the garage door with my watch then instead of my phone. Just kind of, it's a stupid little thing, but I've had this watch for a couple of years and never had an issue with it. But I want to see what else is out there because the technologies are definitely changing.
Now, iPhone 16, is this going to have a beta version of AI in it?
Let's find out because I didn't read this. This is from last Monday. It says today announced plans to hold its annual iPhone-centric event on September 9th. The event set. Who cares? Says this year we'll see the iPhone 16 lineup, and there's a link here for iPhone 16. The new Apple Watch models and the AirPods 4, which will get its official launch date, iOS 18, Mac OS Sequoia, and Apple's other software updates. All four of the new phones are expected to have a customizable action button and the new capture button for taking photos that will have built-in gestures such as swipe for zooming in and out and a soft press for autofocus. The capture button will be on the right side of the devices and the power below the power button. Apple's also adding an A18 chip in all the models, so the entire iPhone 16 lineup will be capable of supporting, there you go, Apple Intelligence features that are coming to iOS 18. No other major new features are expected for the standard iPhone 16. Let's see, but the Pro lineup will have an increase in display size, going from 6.1 to 6.7 inches it's going to go, the display size is going from 6.1 and 6.7 to 6.3 and 6.9 inches, respectively. And the Pro and the Pro Max, both models will include a 5x telephoto. And for the for the Apple Watch, the standard 10 series is expected to have a thinner design. Yeah, the last design, it's like wearing a rock on your wrist. A thinner design with a larger display, but that won't change but the change won't be radical. Apple also plans to refresh the Apple Watch SE and the Apple Watch Ultra. We could see new health features such as sleep apnea detection and blood pressure monitor. That's it. Yeah, that word there.
That's what you said.
Yeah. I had to be careful how I said it because Facebook would probably say that I offended somebody. But it's not entirely clear if Apple will have them ready in time for the year's launch. The two models of the AirPods are new, and they'll be streaming. Okay, so that's pretty much. Here we go. Rumors about the 16. Yeah, I like the idea of the 6.9, except I have to get a new, bigger case. But I need to get that because Christine just got the iPhone, the 15, because I drove over her phone because she threw her phone under my wheels. And so we'll see if she's paying attention or not. But anyway, so she got the new one, and the new one comes with. They got rid of the iPhone adapter, and they're using USB-C. So I want to get the new one because the USB-C, but I also want to get it because it has the bigger screen. I'll take the bigger screen. My eyes aren't what they used to be. I remember when I didn't have any glasses or readers or anything like that, and now I don't like this getting old stuff. This thing where I have to wear glasses to read something really sucks. So, oh man. Okay, so that's the Apple thing. Oh, this is a pretty big thing. A couple years ago, there was a guy that decided he wanted to go on a killing spree, and he killed 10 Colorado residents. So jury selection's going underway for the Boulder grocery store shooting, where 10 Coloradans were killed. And says jury selection began Monday for the Boulder, Colorado store shooting trial. A gunman shot and killed 10 people at the Table Mesa King's Superstore. That was in 2021. I remember that. That was so horrible. And it wasn't like it was racially, it wasn't, he didn't go for any particular person. He went for everybody he could get. And it just really sucks because, 20 years old, 23 years old, 25 years old, 49 years old, 59 years old, 51 years old. One of the police officers, 51, 61-year-old, 62-year-old, 65-year-old. So he didn't do it for age. He didn't do it for ethnic. He just did it to kill people. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand.
There's evil in this world, Michael. There's evil in this world.
Yeah, I guess. I can't comprehend it, though. Even in my worst, I couldn't do it. I did some pretty lousy things in my life, but I could never kill somebody. Let me retract that. I could never kill somebody for no reason. If someone's coming at me with a knife and it's you or me, you're going down. So, I have a strong desire to live. But, the idiot was just someone who wanted. His name was Ahmed Alawi Alisa. He was 25. Or he is 25. 25, how do you get disturbed that much at 25? I could almost understand it if there was a person harassing you so bad you had to take him out. I could almost understand that. But I can't understand random people out of all that. That's why I don't understand school shootings too. Although a lot of those were probably due to being harassed. They were probably kids like me that were driven to it by evil people around them that caused them to feel that unwanted or unloved. But to just go out and just shoot people just to shoot people just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. But hopefully he gets the worst he could get. I
agree.
I have no compassion for someone that goes and takes someone's life. I don't get it. I feel for the families, and I think one thing I'd like to. Oh wait, there was something else. Oh, do you know how the donkey and the elephant became mascots?
No,
Oh,
I
well,
should,
you
but I
should.
don't.
Well, the
Or if
donkey,
I did, I don't remember.
I kind of remember getting the information when I was in high school, but back in the 1800s, I mean, I can't remember that far back.
That's right.
Well, here's how it came from. It all started with an insult. During Andrew Jackson's 1800s, presidential campaign, his political opponents labeled him as a jackass. Stubborn as he was, Jackson co-opted to the insult and began putting a donkey on his election posters. For the rest of the year and even into his retirement, newspapers and cartoonists continued to represent Jackson as either stubborn ass or struggling to control one. After 40 years later, the donkey was used to represent not just Jackson, but the larger group of Democrats. In 1870, Thomas Nast, the German-born political cartoonist who gave us versions of Santa Claus and Uncle Sam we know today, drew a cartoon of Harper's Weekly entitled "A Live Jackass Kicking a Dead Lion." The donkey was a stand-in for Copperhead Democrats, the Northern Democrats that opposed the Civil War. The lion represented Edwin M. Stanton, Abraham Lincoln's recently deceased Secretary of War. Nast thought that the Copperheads were anti-union and believed the Democrat press treatment of Stanton was disrespectful. In 1874, the New York Herald loudly opposed the possibility of Ulysses S. Grant running for a third presidential term and cried, "Caesarism." Nast, a lifelong Republican who'd become frustrated with his party, thought Republicans might fall for the scare tactic. He drew another cartoon for Harper's again, using a donkey to represent the Democrats and adding an animal to symbolize Republicans. The cartoon, titled "The Third Term Panic," showed a donkey representing the Herald and the Democratic press wearing a lion skin labeled "Caesarism" to frighten the group of animals. Among the animals are an elephant labeled "Republican Vote," awkwardly fleeing toward a pit labeled "Inflation and Chaos," and a fox labeled "Democrats," and backing away from the pit that the elephant was about to fall into. The Republicans lost control of the House of Representatives that November, and Nast bemoaned that the defeat in another cartoon. It showed the elephant caught in a trap set by a donkey, and the lumbering, confused behemoth of the Republican Party undone by the Herald's scared tactics. Nast continued to use the elephant and the donkey in his cartoons, eventually having them represent the whole of his party and the opposition. In 1877, the Republican Rutherford B. Hayes' controversial victory, a Nast cartoon showed an injured elephant, the Republican Party, kneeling at the tombstone of the Democratic Party. An 1879 cartoon pictured, is it pictured below or is it pictured above or is it pictured at all? Must be that one. Where's that? Where's that? Oh, titled "The Third." Wait, that was too. Oh, I lost it. Now I lost it. Nast. Is that where it was? Oh, maybe that's where it was. Having in 1877, the Republican Party. Okay, that's where we were. Okay, okay, so it says an 1879 cartoon showed a politician grabbing a donkey labeled Democratic Party by the tail and to keep it from falling into the pit of financial chaos. It's funny how that's all reversed now, isn't it? The Republican elephant, the sluggish animal, is lying on and blocking the road to election victory. By 1880, the cartoonist had picked up the symbols and spread them across the country. Over a century later, their continued use in cartoons, party literature, campaign buttons, and all sorts of political merchandise and propaganda had cemented the association between the parties and their beasts. So there you go. That's where it all came from.
Amazing.
Yes. And on that note, Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Hey, Bobby. I was just talking about you. So my friend Doug here is the guy I was talking to you about earlier today, and he gave me a lesson on 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 16 to 18. So there we go. See, I even know where it is. So, but anyway.
Well, if you could just memorize the rest of Scripture, you'd be okay.
One scripture at a time. The fact that I actually know one scripture is pretty good. So I went all my life without knowing any of it, and now I know one. He says thanks. Salvation. Oh, I missed it. And he said Salvation Army. Or is that what it says? I think it. And oh, nice. So I got to get you two together. You guys would probably have some good conversations. So
probably.
Bobby's one of my goodest friends, one of my best friends. I don't get to see him as often as I'd like to, but we're just very busy together and very busy apart. So I haven't seen him in it's been years, but we talk to each other once in a while and keep up to date on each other. And we talked to each other today and I think yesterday too. So we're catching up. But yeah, he's a good guy and one of those few guys that is real. What you see is what you get, and he is. That's what I like about him, So maybe we can connect in Ohio. Oh yeah, you're going out to Ohio. That's where Doug is. Yeah. So, yeah. He. I think you'd like him. He's a real good guy. So
okay.
I'll have to get you guys together, and I need to.
Yeah, we can talk about all the things we dislike about you.
That's a long list. You don't have that much time. You're old. You don't have that much time on this planet. So, all right. I guess it's time. Well, let's see. Oh, Mike, we have been a great. Yes. I have been a. In fact, I was talking about Sheikh Zabala. My when I worked for his promotion, Classy Mike Trash was not around. It was Sheikh Zabala, and Zabala is Arabic for
Zabala.
Yes, Zabala is Arabic for trash. It was fun. It was the only promotion I did that gimmick in, and it was just so much fun because, it was fresh and and I worked for gas cards. That's back when gas prices were skyrocketing, and I used to say that they didn't pay me in cash. I got gas cards. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, we're. I'll have to dig that. Did I ever show you that promo?
No.
No? Really? Wow.
Really?
I'll have to dig that one out. It's on YouTube, but it's really it's unique. Anyway, all right, it's time to wrap it up. I want to thank you guys for watching the show, listening to the show, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. I want to thank Doug for coming back as usual, and I think we had a good show.
I think we did.
And we had some fun stuff, and I actually made a mistake. I actually learned something. I didn't try to do that. Oh, I don't want to be known
Once
as
we know it all, Mike, we don't need to learn anymore.
I guess so. Christian show, too. Got to entertain, but with a message. Only in wrestling. Yep, that's right. So, all right. Well, I guess it's time to wrap it up. So, uh-oh, where's my, there it is.